Chapter 1637. Once they entered the 5 regional mountain range, the southern border immortals immediately felt an intense repulsive or attractive force. They activated killer moves to move forward while maintaining their defensive methods. Their immortal apertures all shook as they suffered the backlash of immortal killer moves. This demon really chose a good place. Immediately, a southern border GU immortal gritted his teeth and said hatefully, "Even if my immortal aperture is destroyed, I will kill this demon and rid the world of evil." Even more GU immortals' battle intent surged. Their determination to kill Fang Yuan became even firmer. Fang Yuan was so crafty and ruthless, he did not show any reverence towards the celestial court. He was daring and unbridled, not to mention the righteous path of the other 4 regions. This person only had rank 7 cultivation level, yet he ambushed southern border's righteous path, capturing hostages and extorting them wantonly. If he became rank 8, what would happen? If Fang Yuan was in the righteous path, it would be fine. The righteous path would follow the rules of the game. But he was in the demonic path, he was alone and needed a vast amount of cultivation resources to cultivate. He would reach out to the righteous path and plunder. This was an irreconcilable conflict. But Fang Yuan not only had the ability to plunder, he could even defend against deductions and had fierce battle strength. This was too frightening. They had to get rid of this scourge as soon as possible. Kill. Kill. Take revenge for my clansmen. Whoever can cut off Fang Yuan's head, no matter who it is, I, Shongwu Jie, will reward them handsomely. I, Kai Chuyu, will personally set up an immortal formation for him. My Wu clan will open our treasury. Whoever kills Fang Yuan can choose 3 immortal GU. Under the heavy reward, the morale of the southern border GU immortals soared. To prevent Fang Yuan from escaping, they split into several groups and charged in from different directions of the 5 regional mountain range, directly attacking the center. Cluck cluck cluck. With a series of chicken cries, the immemorial year chicken's huge body suddenly appeared, blocking in front of Shongwu Jie's group. Fang Yuan had naturally made arrangements. The immemorial year beasts were scattered everywhere to protect him and resist the strong enemies. This was an immemorial year beast. It was ferocious as it pecked at the southern border GU immortals. The accompanying rank 7 GU immortals felt a chill in their hearts and were about to resist with all their strength when they suddenly heard Shongwu Jie's cold snort. "Little chicken, you dare to stop me!" Shongwu Jie roared, activating his rank 8 killer move. Boom! With a loud bang, the entire immemorial year chicken was slapped into the mountain and fainted on the spot. The accompanying rank 7 GU immortals immediately sucked in a breath of cold air. Their gazes towards Shongwu Jie had already changed. Although Shongwu Jie is a rank 8 GU immortal, he has never been famous for his battle strength. To think that his offensive killer move is so fierce. A primordial year chicken is after all a primordial desolate beast. It didn't even have the chance to make a move before it was knocked unconscious by Shongwu Jie. Fierce, too fierce. Shong clan is one of the top 5 superforces in southern border, but the strength that Shongwu Jie has displayed is too strong. Shongwu Jie's performance caused people to be shocked, exceeding their imaginations. No matter how weak the immemorial year chicken was, it was still at rank 8 level. To think that it could not even last 1 round against him. Oh! Did he bring weak chicken GU with him? Fang Yuan observed the battle while undergoing tribulation. The immemorial year chicken's poor performance made Fang Yuan recall a famous transaction from his previous life. BA clan's rank 7 GU immortal BAG did not hesitate to pay a huge price to transact with Shong clan, obtaining rank 8 weak chicken GU. Because of a special method, he could use this immortal GU above his rank, causing his strength to soar rapidly, becoming the biggest winner of the transaction. Subsequently, he caused a huge commotion in the 5 regions' chaotic war. Right now, GU immortal BAG is still in closed cultivation. His reputation is unknown and no one is interested in him. Weak chicken GU is still in Shong clan's hands, and was used by Shongwu Jie to deal with me. Shongwu Jie's battle strength was not outstanding among southern borders rank 8s, but with weak chicken GU, he was in the limelight for once. Fortunately, that immemorial year chicken was only defeated and not killed. There was still hope of saving it. Fang Yuan immediately sent an immemorial year snake to attack Shang Wujie's group. As the two clashed, Shang Wujie was immediately obstructed, his advance coming to an abrupt halt. There were several other groups that had the same encounter as Shang Wujie, all of them had rank 8 GU immortals. Evidently, Fang Yuan's main focus was on defending against these rank 8 existences. In a one-on-one battle, these immemorial year beasts were naturally not the rank 8 GU immortals match, but they could resist for some time. But in the 5 regional mountain range, it was a different battle environment. Using any immortal killer move here would have a higher difficulty, and the GU immortal themselves would have to suffer the backlash first. There was also the omnipresent gravitational and repulsive forces that constantly interfered with the GU immortals. Not only did they have to fight, they also had to divert their attention to deal with these enormous gravitational and repulsive forces. These gravitational and repulsive forces were stronger as the GU immortals' cultivation level rose. Rank 8 GU immortals could barely move forward. This was also why under normal circumstances, rank 8 GU immortals had to go through Black Heaven and White Heaven, taking detours. Of course, the 5 regional mountain range was only an imitation of the 5 regional walls. It was not the real 5 regional walls, so the obstruction to rank 8 GU immortals was not as strong as the real regional walls. Even so, it greatly suppressed the performance of rank 8 GU immortals. At once, even these rank 8 GU immortals like Wu Yong could not advance even an inch while resisting the immemorial year beasts with all their strength. These immemorial year beasts came from the River of Time. They were not born in the 5 regions, so they were not restricted. As for Immortal GU House Clear Jade Dripping Wind Tiny Bamboo Building, it was a fixed immortal killer move. It was even more severely restricted in the 5 regional mountain range. It was stored in Wu Yong's immortal aperture and could not be used easily. The demon's schemes are truly crafty, no wonder he chose to undergo tribulation here. Feeling the difficulty of the battle, a GU immortal coughed out blood and shouted, "Don't mind us, you guys charge in and disturb Fang Yuan's tribulation. We can't let him pass this tribulation," Kai Chuyu shouted. Even though Fang Yuan had arranged immemorial year beasts, in terms of numbers, he could not compare to the southern border GU immortals. When the immemorial year beast was fighting the southern border immortals, it was also being restrained. Many southern border GU immortals bypassed the immemorial year beasts and continued to attack Fang Yuan. Great formation, rise. Fang Yuan did not panic in the face of danger. With a command, an immortal Dao Great Formation suddenly rose in the surroundings. At once, the southern border GU immortals lost their 5 senses. They were in chaos, their vision was filled with fog and they lost their direction. This demon still has a backup plan. Don't be afraid, we cannot easily use immortal GU houses in the 5 regional mountain range. The same goes for immortal formations. If he uses it for too long, it will collapse on its own. At that time, Fang Yuan will have to bear the backlash of the array's collapse. No, this is exactly Fang Yuan's delaying tactic. As long as he could endure this period of time and successfully transcend the tribulation, even if the array was broken and he suffered a backlash, he would not be able to escape. He would be able to use fixed immortal travel to escape in time. The southern border GU immortals conversed at lightning speed. They immediately understood Fang Yuan's delaying tactic. We need to break out of this formation as soon as possible. That fellow cultivator has such a method. Oh no, Kai Clan's GU immortals are blocked, they cannot come. Damn it, this demon is doing this on purpose. Ha ha ha. Suddenly, a GU immortal laughed loudly. Everyone turned to look. It was a person with a large head and a small body. He had a crafty gaze. Immediately, someone asked, "Who Clan friend, why are you laughing?" Who Clan GU immortal who stopped laughing. Everyone, don't worry, this formation does not have any spatial restriction ability, it is simply confusing our senses and causing us to lose our direction. I have a beast that can be used. Come out. As soon as he said that, a mystical light flew out of whose immortal aperture and landed on his shoulder, turning into a monkey. This monkey was small and had dense fur, it was shining in silver light and had 8 ears, 4 on the left and 4 on the right. Immediately, a GU immortal cried out in shock, "Is this the immemorial desolate beast 8 ears monkey? Hu Zihu laughed loudly. Yes, it is. Ear monkeys were rare beasts, they belonged to information path. Even ordinary mortal beasts were rare, immortal level ear monkeys were even rarer. When an ear monkey grew 6 ears, it was a desolate beast. 7 ears were ancient desolate beasts. 8 ears were immemorial desolate beast. At once, the southern border immortals' gazes towards Hu Zihu changed. Hu Zihu only had rank 7 cultivation level on the surface, his battle strength was not outstanding and he was not famous. To think that he had hidden an immemorial desolate beast as a helper. This concealment was too deep. If not for the encirclement against Fang Yuan, he might not have been forced to reveal such a trump card. Monkey, where are the enemies? Hu Zihu rubbed the 8 ears monkey's small head, instructing softly. As an immemorial desolate beast, the 8 ears monkey was actually very docile. It obediently listened to Hu Zihu. It listened attentively before chirping and stretching out its hand to point a direction. The immortals received its guidance and continued to advance. Suddenly, the immortal formation changed. The 8 ears monkey immediately shouted and listened attentively, pointing in another direction. Fang Yuan immediately frowned. This way, even if the formation changed continuously, it would not be able to block this group of southern border GU immortals. It is actually an 8 ears monkey. Although Southern Borders Hu clan has always reared and enslaved monkey beasts, I did not expect them to have such a rare divine beast. Jun Shenguang saw this and his killing intent surged. This encirclement against Fang Yuan was a huge matter. Jun Shenguang hesitated for a moment before deciding to take the risk. When the Southern Border GU immortals entered the 5 regional mountain range, he had already activated his killer move and stealthily sneaked in. And the other Celestial Court GU immortal, Wei Yifeng, was also rapidly rushing over, waiting to be the Oriole. With this 8 ears monkey, we can monitor the world. When my central continent invades southern border in the future, most stealth methods will be ineffective. Getting rid of it will be greatly beneficial to my Celestial Court's plan. Jun Shenguang thought of this and his gaze towards the 8 ears monkey revealed a trace of killing intent. The 8 ears monkey immediately sensed it and screamed in panic. This beast is so sharp. Jun Shenguang quickly retracted his gaze and looked ahead. Forget it, I will let it go for now. The urgent matter now is to deal with Fang Yuan. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. Hu Zihu quickly comforted the 8 ears monkey on his shoulder. Right at this time, their visions suddenly cleared up as a GU immortal shouted, "We are out." Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Heaven and earth chi were still surging. The sovereign immortal aperture's entrance was wide open and continuously devouring. This is the immortal aperture of the demon Fang Yuan. We are close. With a strong enemy in front of them, the southern border immortals were stunned. They looked at each other and did not dare to move forward. Fang Yuan's fierce might made these rank 7 GU immortals feel somewhat uneasy. Although the Southern Alliance has been established, how can the overall situation be changed in a short period of time? Motley crew is still a motley crew after all. Jun Shenguang sneered. He concealed himself and continued to advance rapidly. He actually wanted to enter Fang Yuan's immortal aperture in one step. Once I enter Fang Yuan's immortal aperture, he will fall into a passive state and will have to restrain himself. I will not fight Fang Yuan at all. As long as I cause destruction everywhere, Fang Yuan will not be able to endure it. Even better is that Fang Yuan's grand tribulation has not formed yet. If I disturb him from the side, he will not be able to attend to one thing and might really be killed by me. But it is safer to continue hiding in his immortal aperture and wait for Fang Yuan to fight against the southern border immortals before I make my move. Haha. I am really looking forward to his expression when he finds out that a powerful enemy has suddenly appeared in his immortal aperture. Jun Shenguang had extremely powerful concealment methods. This was also his specialty. Of course, he knew that there was a chance that Fang Yuan would see through this risk and discover him. But such a great opportunity was right in front of him. If he did not grasp it, it would be a waste of time. Comparatively speaking, the possibility of Fang Yuan seeing through it was much smaller than not being able to see through it. How could there be no risk in this world? Not to mention the dangers of battle. Jun Shenguang was a noble rank 8 GU immortal, but he had never lost the courage to risk his life. However, He had a clear yardstick in his heart when he should risk his life and when he shouldn't. Now is the time to fight with my life on the line. Jun Shengguang's eyes shined with a strange light as he activated his immortal killer move. Enduring the backlash of the killer move, he mixed into the heaven and earth chi and was about to enter the sovereign immortal aperture. Chapter 1638. The immortal aperture's entrance was open, but the amount of heaven and earth chi absorbed had already decreased by a lot. The enemy is right in front of us. Why are you hesitating? Tai Clan's GU immortals raised their eyebrows and shouted at the southern border immortals. Many people's faces turned slightly red as they came to their senses. Someone shouted, "Let's charge in together. This demon Fang Yuan is still undergoing tribulation. We will definitely win this battle. Whoever flees will be the greatest disgrace of southern border's righteous path." That's right, charge into the enemy's immortal aperture. Even if we die, we will make this demon Fang Yuan suffer heavy losses. Hehehe, why are you so pessimistic? This demon extorted so many things. There are definitely peerless treasures in his immortal aperture. Not to mention others, there are several secluded domains of heaven and earth. My clan's GU immortals are still being held captive by him, but we do not know where he is being held. I have already checked, there are no immortal formations around. Hu Zihua rubbed the 8 ears monkey's head and said with certainty. The southern border immortals immediately relaxed. Fang Yuan's formation had made southern border's righteous path suffer greatly. Once this worry was gone, the southern border immortals' morale soared. They immediately used their abilities and charged into the immortal aperture. Howl, howl, howl. But at the next moment, there was a sudden change. A series of ear-piercing buzzing sounds resounded in the battlefield, almost piercing the immortals' eardrums. At the same time, an extremely dazzling light burst out. Many southern border GU immortals were caught off guard, their vision was filled with white, they were temporarily blinded. The southern border immortals were pale with fright, they quickly went on guard. Countless killer moves struck the center of the light. The person at the center of the light was not Fang Yuan, but Jun Shengguang. He was filled with anger and shock. This killer move of mine is the light of alarm. It will only be used when I face fatal danger. It is not controlled by me. I was about to sneak into Fang Yuan's immortal aperture earlier, but I activated the light of shock. What is going on? Don't tell me this is a huge trap set by Fang Yuan. He was a rank 8 GU immortal. He blocked the attacks of the southern border immortals while retreating rapidly. Hey, you have great skills, but since you're here, why are you leaving so quickly? Fang Yuan's laughter drifted into Jun Shengguang's ears. Jun Shengguang's heart trembled as he cried out involuntarily, "Not good." He felt a formless suction force pulling at him, trying to drag him into Fang Yuan's immortal aperture. In an instant, the doubts in Jun Shengguang's heart completely disappeared without a trace. He was absolutely sure that this was a trap set up by Fang Yuan. Jun Shengguang roared, disregarding the backlash of the 5 regional mountain range. He activated his immortal killer move to resist the formless suction force that Fang Yuan was exerting on him. Immediately after, Jun Shengguang displayed the technique he was most proud of. His figure turned into a strange light and was about to shoot out of the battlefield. But even though the killer move succeeded, the strange light shot out at an extremely slow speed, comparable to a snail or a tortoise. Damn it, this is a time path method. Jun Shengguang immediately recognized it. Because of this time path method, his time was slowed down by nearly 100 times. Jun Shengguang was inwardly shocked. I am a rank 8 GU immortal with rank 8 Dao marks, how can my time be slowed down by so much? Fang Yuan's time path method is actually at rank 8 level, it completely surpasses the information we had. How did he do it? What's going on? I was hit. Time is incomparably slow, it is like I have fallen into a swamp, quickly think of a way. Similar to Jun Shengguang, the nearby southern border immortals were also in the same situation. Hehe, you all came uninvited, I will return such hospitality 100-fold. Fang Yuan said as he descended onto the battlefield. Only to see a GU immortal with fluttering white clothes and green hair. He had an extremely handsome face and a pair of eyes that were as deep as an abyss and as cold as ice, filled with terrifying killing intent. The GU immortals present were all too familiar with such an appearance. Their bodies shook intensely as they turned pale with fright. Among the southern border immortals, someone even cried out in shock, "It's Fang Yuan." Fang Yuan ignored these southern border rank 7 GU immortals. His gaze was eerie as he looked at Jun Shenguang. Jun Shenguang's face was flushed red. He was using all his strength to get rid of the time path restriction on his body. He had many methods and his efforts were fruitful. The time path restriction that Fang Yuan placed on him was getting lesser and lesser, and Jun Shenguang's speed was also getting faster. Fang Yuan smiled as he slowly stretched out his left hand from his sleeve. His left hand was white as jade, his 5 fingers spread out in a graceful manner, like a white lotus blooming. Surging soul path aura suddenly erupted and contracted in an instant, condensing into a phantom image in the center of Fang Yuan's left palm. This phantom image was vivid and lifelike. It was Luopo Valley that had shrunk by 1,000,000 times. The phantom image of Luopo Valley slowly rotated on its own. Fang Yuan's left hand's 5 fingers began to slowly close. Alarm bells rang in Jun Shenguang's mind. An incomparable sense of danger enveloped his entire body and mind. His eyes were wide open. He was so nervous that his pupils were about to split apart. What killer move is this? Terrifying. Too terrifying. My senses are definitely not wrong. If I get hit by this move, I will definitely die. Escape. I must escape. Quickly escape. Jun Shenguang's face was blood red. His thin and long white eyebrows were trembling crazily. He no longer had his previous breathtaking demeanor. Immortal killer move, Sunshine God. He gave a loud roar, brazenly using his strongest method. His whole body turned into a lump of light. Endless light burst out. It was as if a small sun had appeared in the whole battlefield. The burning white light had boundless might that could illuminate heaven and earth. Wherever it went, Fang Yuan's time path hand disintegrated. The southern border immortals had just escaped, but they were engulfed by the extremely dazzling white light. The fake regional walls that filled every part of the mountain range dissipated under the intense assault of the white light. The whole 5 regional mountain range started to shake, especially at the center of the battlefield. A large number of mountain rocks shattered and collapsed. It was a scene of chaos. The aftermath of Sunshine God even impacted the other battlefields. Southern Border's rank 8 team was fighting with the immemorial Year Immortal. They were severely disrupted. This is a Central Continent rank 8 GU Immortal. TMPH. He is probably a member of the Celestial Court. As the light dissipated, the central battlefield became extremely clear. Suddenly, a Southern Border GU Immortal cried out in shock. Wait, that immortal aperture. It is my clan's GU Immortal's immortal aperture. What? It is not Fang Yuan's immortal aperture. Everyone was shocked. This is a trap. Jun Shenguang screamed. He gathered his spirit and frantically retreated. Trying to escape. Fang Yuan suddenly appeared not far from Jun Shenguang. His heart shook fiercely. Jun Shenguang's pupils shrunk to pin size as he stared fixedly at Fang Yuan. At that moment, he suddenly realized, rather than saying that Fang Yuan was ambushing Southern Border's GU Immortals, it would be more accurate to say that he was specifically targeting members of the Celestial Court like he. So your true target is me. Me. That move of yours has already been exposed. I am already on guard. Your trap has also collapsed. Can you still restrain me? Merely rank 7 cultivation. I am a rank 8 GU Immortal. Moreover, there is even reinforcements, Wei Feng, who is rushing over. Unless these Southern Border GU Immortals are with you, do you think you can kill me? Jun Shenguang breathed in deeply. Countless lights flowed around his body like water, forming an impregnable defense. Sure enough, at the next moment, the Southern Border Immortals attacked one after another. Their target was the same, Fang Yuan. Wu Yong took the lead, while Kai Chuyu and Shong Wu Jie followed closely behind, allowing the immemorial year beasts to attack themselves. They also wanted to deal with Fang Yuan. Next, a large number of Southern Border GU Immortal experts used their own methods. Jun Shenguang laughed heartily. Fang Yuan, you demon, your evil deeds will only bring about your own destruction. You still want to kill me? Today, you will die for sure. Is that so? At the moment of crisis, Fang Yuan was calm and collected, even the corners of his lips curled up, revealing a mocking smile. Boom. At the next moment, his rank 7 aura suddenly changed, an incomparable aura soared into the sky and radiated in all directions. The group of people were all shocked. What? Rank 8 aura. This is impossible. Fang Yuan's body slightly paused, he stretched out his finger and lightly pointed. Immortal killer move, spring scissors. Next, he folded his arms, his sleeves fluttering in the wind, forming a fan. Immortal killer move, summer fan. This is. Kai Chu-yu and Shang Wu-jie were dumbstruck at this scene. This is Lady Xia Ch's. Xia clan's rank 7 GU immortals cried out in pain, an extremely bad feeling shrouding their hearts. Rumble. Spring scissors fiercely suppressed Jun Shenguang. Summer fan was rapidly waved in Fang Yuan's hands, brazenly defeating all kinds of killer moves of the southern border immortals. Chapter 1639. Shock. Witnessing Fang Yuan's rank 8 might, all the GU immortals present felt a sense of shock. The immortals had come to obstruct Fang Yuan, to disrupt his tribulation and prevent him from becoming rank 8. But who could have thought that Fang Yuan would already have rank 8 cultivation level when they met again? This change caught everyone off guard. When did he become rank 8? Kai Chu-yu's eyes were wide open in disbelief. It is not strange to be able to use spring scissors and summer fan, but these two killer moves are amplified by time path Dao marks and can block all attacks. Even if Fang Yuan becomes rank 8, how can he have so many time path Dao marks in such a short period of time? I think it is more likely that he is using Xia Ch's body and using familiar face to deceive us and make us think that he has already undergone tribulation. Shang Wu-jie forced himself to remain calm as he analyzed. No. My clan's first Supreme Elders Spring and Summer Immortal GU are both rank 8, only rank 8 Immortal Essence can be used. Xia clan's second Supreme Elder Xia Zhao shouted. This. Shang Wu-jie immediately hesitated. Immortal Essence contained the user's will, only the user, or the heavenly spirit or land spirit formed after death could use their own Immortal Essence. The only exception was Immortal GU houses. Immortal GU houses could use Immortal Essence from any source. But Fang Yuan's two killer moves were clearly not Immortal GU houses. If Fang Yuan was only rank 7 and only had Red Date Immortal Essence, he would not be able to activate Spring and Summer Immortal GU. Even if he replaced Xia Ch's body and obtained her Immortal Essence, he would not be able to use it. There is no point in thinking too much. Kill Fang Yuan and we might find out. Wu Yong shouted. He shot out like lightning. The immemorial year beast behind him fell to the ground, unable to get up again. At the crucial moment, Wu Yong displayed great battle strength. He killed the immemorial year beast that Fang Yuan deployed first and fought Fang Yuan with all his strength. Fang Yuan. Wu Yong's gaze was cold, his battle intent surged as he shouted loudly, even if you advance to rank 8, you will not be able to escape this calamity. The 5-boundary mountain range that you have carefully chosen will be your burial ground. As soon as he finished speaking, the entire mountain range began to shake violently. For a moment, the earth quaked and the mountains shook. Body parts flew everywhere. What's going on? The immortals were bewildered. Wu Yong's voice immediately reached the immortals' ears. Don't worry, everyone. This is a contingency plan that I've specially arranged. It can change the direction of the earth veins under the 5-realm mountain range and cause the entire mountain range to collapse. The immortals were even more puzzled. So what if he changed the direction of the earth veins? But soon, they were pleasantly surprised to see that as the mountains gradually collapsed, the unique colorful light of the 5 boundaries mountain range also rapidly disintegrated and vanished. This. For a moment, even Jun Shenguang revealed a shocked expression. Great. Without these restraints, our battle strength will recover to its original state, we will no longer be restricted. The southern border GU immortals were overjoyed. This Wu Yong is indeed different from Wu Duxiu, he actually had such a contingency plan. Shang Wu-jie's eyes flickered with bright light. Why is Wu clan so familiar with the 5 boundaries mountain range? Simply changing the direction of the earth veins cannot achieve such an effect. They must also know the details of Dao Zhu's arrangement of this mountain range. Kai Chu-yu's thoughts moved rapidly. At the periphery of the Five Boundaries mountain range, the formation formed by Wu clan and Qiao clan's GU immortals was constantly rumbling. It was the source of the change in the entire Five Boundaries mountain range. Qiao Sai Liu, Wu Yubo, and the others were guarding this place. Wu Yubo looked at the battlefield and chuckled coldly. This demon Fang Yuan wants to rely on the Five Boundaries mountain range. Now that he has lost his terrain advantage, how can he deal with the encirclement of our southern border righteous path? Qiao Sai Liu was silent. Her expression was somewhat complex. She had once been very close to Wu Yihai. She had once thought that they would become husband and wife. But in the end, the shocking change far surpassed her imagination. Wu Yihai was actually Fang Yuan in disguise. Every time she thought about how she had once been so close to this demon, Fang Yuan, she shuddered. There was no lingering affection between her and Fang Yuan. Her complex emotions were because of the Five Boundaries mountain range itself. Everyone thought that Dao Zhu's research on the 5 regional walls did not have any results. But the truth was not so. Qiao clan unexpectedly obtained a clue to Dao Zhu's inheritance. They had been secretly searching for it, trying to uncover it. Who could have thought that this information would be known by Wu Yong? Under his pressure, Qiao clan had no choice but to contribute it, and it was used here. Precisely because of this clue, Wu Yong had a deep understanding of the Five Boundaries mountain range. He was able to change the earth veins and make the light qi of the Five Boundaries dissipate. If it were anyone else doing this and randomly changing the earth veins, unless they were extremely lucky, under normal circumstances, the light qi of the Five Boundaries would still exist. Sigh. This is a rank 8 GU Immortal's inheritance, but it was used here. Now that the Five Boundaries mountain range is destroyed, all hope is gone. Qiao Sai Liu sighed. Even though she said so much, not much time had actually passed. First, the killer move light of surprise burst out from Jun Shenguang's body, then Fang Yuan appeared and chased after Jun Shenguang, then the southern border immortals attacked, but Fang Yuan blocked them, exposing his rank 8 cultivation level. Then, the southern border immortals conversed, Wu Yong charged forward, the Five Boundaries mountain range collapsed, and Fang Yuan's terrain advantage disappeared. The entire process happened in the blink of an eye. Fang Yuan's original intention of blocking the attacks of the southern border immortals did not change. Even when Wu Yong approached, he still chased after Jun Shenguang. Jun Shenguang used his trump card killer move. His aura fell to an extremely low level. His Sunshine Sun God had terrifying power. Not only did it expend a large amount of white lychee immortal essence, it also permanently expended his own light path Dao marks. It was a move that dealt great damage to the enemy and himself. Moreover, he had used it in the Five Boundaries mountain range and suffered an intense backlash. Although he managed to escape temporarily, he suffered heavy injuries as a result. But now, the light energy of the Five Boundaries was rapidly declining. Jun Shenguang felt like a heavy burden had been lifted from his shoulders. He felt increasingly relaxed. His greatest worry was immediately resolved. Seeing Wu Yong charging towards Fang Yuan, a thought appeared in Jun Shenguang's mind. Should I cooperate with the southern border GU immortals and encircle Fang Yuan? Jun Shenguang quickly rejected this thought the moment it appeared. Continue escaping. The current situation was very complex. He was not a southern border GU immortal after all. More importantly, Fang Yuan was chasing after him. If he escaped, it would mean Fang Yuan's failure. Jun Shenguang's decision to retreat was very wise. Fang Yuan was still chasing after him. He did not care about Wu Yong. But right at this time, a change occurred. A powerful aura surged as a huge 5-colored pillar of light shot into the sky. At the same time, a grand voice resounded in the whole of the Five Boundaries mountain range. Junior, you did well. You actually passed my final test and destroyed the entire Five Boundaries mountain range. Now, the 5 regional inheritance that I left behind is yours. Cultivate well and roam the world in the future. Don't disgrace my name. In the 5-colored pillar of light, a will gathered like smoke, forming into the appearance of a GU immortal that looked like it was alive. Countless gazes landed on it. Someone immediately recognized it. That's right, this is old man Dao Zhu's appearance when he was alive. No way. At the edge of the mountain range, Qiao Sai Liu could see the pillar of light and hear the voice. She had a strange expression. Dao Zhu's final test was to destroy the Five Boundaries mountain range? I actually managed to activate Dao Zhu's inheritance by accident. Dao Zhu heard someone calling him old man and felt displeased. He said arrogantly, "What old man? This junior has inherited my inheritance, how can he be so rude?" Rumble. Intense winds blew, heaven and earth roared. What answered him was Wu Yong's rank 8 killer move, but it was not aimed at him, it was aimed at Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was hit by this killer move, his immortal robe fluttered and rippled like water. It was the immortal killer move Reverse Flow Protection Seal. This move reflected power, but Wu Yong forcefully endured it and continued to get closer. Fang Yuan's speed was immediately suppressed. It turned out that Wu Yong's move had a huge range. Reverse Flow Protection Seal could only reflect the portion that Fang Yuan had to endure. Fang Yuan flew and reflected it all the way. Even though he was safe, his speed was greatly reduced. Fang Yuan had been relying on Reverse Flow Protection Seal for a long time. How could Wu Yong not have methods to counter it? Dao Zhu's will was shocked. He quickly looked around and saw several rank 8 GU immortals fighting. With so many rank 7 experts present, he was so shocked that his body almost collapsed. What's going on? This was completely different from his expectations. There were no respectful juniors, only ferocious GU immortals. Ignore him, he is just a dead man. The inheritance is here, we will take it after the battle. The urgent matter now is to kill this demon, Fang Yuan, not just Dao Zhu's inheritance, even if it is a GU Venerable's true inheritance, I will give it up to kill Fang Yuan. The immortals shouted, their attention was once again focused on Fang Yuan. Dao Zhu's will, he was completely dumbfounded, this was not in line with his script. Next, he shuddered, reacting, who is it? So many GU immortals are trying to kill him. To kill him, they are even willing to give up a GU Venerable's true inheritance. Dao Zhu's will also looked at Fang Yuan, but soon found that he did not know this person. Who is this person? Is he a GU immortal after my main body died? Right at this time, Fang Yuan finally caught up to Jun Shenguang. Jun Shenguang was sweating profusely from nervousness. An intense feeling of danger was ringing in his mind like a war drum. He escaped with all his might, while cursing in his mind, Wu Yong, you scoundrel. What killer move is this? It can even trap me. Wu Yong's killer move had a huge range, it naturally took care of Jun Shenguang. How could Wu Yong's exquisite method be easy to deal with? Jun Shenguang's strength fell greatly, this obstruction caused his speed to fall even more severely than Fang Yuan's. It's over. Fang Yuan muttered, the moment he attacked, his eyes were like an ancient well with no ripples. The phantom image of Luo Po Valley in his palm slowly rotated. Suddenly, he clenched his fingers, holding the phantom image in his palm. A ball of strange grey light surged out from the gaps between his fingers. Fang Yuan opened his palm and slapped at Jun Shenguang. The strange light shot out at an incredible speed. Jun Shenguang tried to dodge like a headless fly, frantically dodging. Wu Yong chased from behind, a dark light flashed in his eyes. Suddenly, intense winds blew around Jun Shenguang, the resistance rising sharply. Wu Yong, screw you. Before Jun Shenguang could curse, he was hit by Fang Yuan's strange grey light. In an instant, his flying momentum came to a halt. There were no injuries on his body, but his soul was heavily injured, almost dying on the spot. Immortal killer move Luo Po Seal. While Jun Shenguang was in a daze, an immortal GU house suddenly appeared beside Fang Yuan. The killer move that Ying Wuxie was preparing inside the house hit Jun Shenguang. Immortal killer move Lead Soul into Dream. Jun Shenguang had no time to react, he sank into a dream realm, unable to extricate himself. The immortal GU house flew out, its shape was blurry and indistinct, it swallowed Jun Shenguang and flew back to Fang Yuan's side. Wu Yong was pale with fright. He had originally interfered with Jun Shenguang to probe the power of Fang Yuan's move. After all, Jun Shenguang was not a southern border GU immortal, why couldn't he make use of him? But Wu Yong had never expected Fang Yuan to capture Jun Shenguang in one move. Earlier, when Fang Yuan captured the southern border immortals, he had set up an ambush and painstakingly set up a time path formation. But now, he had captured Jun Shenguang with just a few method. His battle strength had risen to such a level, it was simply unheard of. What killer move is that? It seems to target the GU Immortal's soul. Its power is terrifying, we need to guard against it. There is also the Immortal GU House. What Immortal GU House is that? It is almost undetectable when hidden. Southern Borders rank 8s were approaching with an aggressive aura. Chapter 1640. Fang Yuan's performance shocked Dao Zhu's will to no end. Where did this soul path GU Immortal come from? Just one attack was enough to heavily injure a rank 8 GU Immortal. Such awe-inspiring demonic might, even Spectral Soul was no match for it when he was young. This young man looks weak and delicate. To think that he is so vicious and ruthless, his methods are superb. He must have killed many people, otherwise, why would Southern Borders' righteous path GU Immortals encircle him on such a large scale? Realizing this, Dao Zhu's will immediately cowered. For the first time, he felt that the pillar of light around him was so dazzling. My main body set this up to facilitate the inheritance. Sigh. To think that the true opening of the inheritance would be like this. Who did I offend? Is it easy to set up an inheritance after so much effort? Dao Zhu's will felt helpless, not to mention Amir will like him, even if his main body was still alive, he would have to retreat. This situation was too deep, the waves were too fierce, he could not get involved. Dao Zhu's will cowered, he shrunk back into the pillar of light while thinking, don't look at me, don't look at me. How could the GU Immortals have the energy or mood to look at him? Fang Yuan had captured the rank 8 GU Immortal Jun Shenguang in front of everyone. His battle strength was shocking. Almost all the rank 7 GU Immortals were speechless, even the rank 8s were dazed. How should I fight such a strong enemy? If I fight and die, what will happen to my clan? If the other rank 8s die, wouldn't I be helping others? If Fang Yuan was rank 7, with reverse flow protection seal, he could fight rank 8s. Southern Borders rank 8 GU Immortals could endure this level of battle strength. But now, it was completely different. Not only was Fang Yuan a rank 8 GU Immortal, he also had a mysterious and powerful method. It seemed to be a soul path method that complemented lead soul into dream. Jun Shenguang's example was right in front of them. Southern Borders rank 8 GU Immortals were also likely to be killed by Fang Yuan. At the crucial moment, Southern Borders' righteous path's old habits resurfaced. After all, there were many factions, they had been in charge for too long, their wariness towards each other was deeply ingrained in their bones. Even if they realized the need to work together, at the crucial moment, hesitation was a knot in the hearts of all rank 8 GU Immortals. These Southern Border rank 8 GU Immortals hesitated, but Fang Yuan did not. He laughed loudly and turned around to attack Wu Yong. Wu Yong, what did you just say? This is my burial ground. Ha ha ha. I think, on the contrary, this is your grave. Come, 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 let's settle old and new grudges together. Fang Yuan roared. His voice was like thunder, echoing throughout the 5-boundary mountain range. He was dressed in white, his sleeves fluttering in the wind, his black hair fluttering in the wind. His demonic might overflowed the sky, his killing intent surging to the heavens intimidated the group of immortals. Kai Chuyu, Shong Wu Jie, and the other rank 8 GU immortals saw that Fang Yuan was targeting Wu Yong. They felt complex emotions, they were nervous, but also slightly relieved. Next, all sorts of dark thoughts appeared in their minds. Although Fang Yuan was ferocious, he was a lone wolf after all. Not to mention, Kai Chuyu had made a deal with Fang Yuan. Now that the Southern Alliance was newly established, the alliance leader position had always been empty. Wu Yong was the undisputed #1 candidate. If he became the alliance leader, it would be hard to say how he would treat the other clans in the future. Southern Borders clans had existed for too long. To truly unite, the difficult thing was the countless obstacles in the hearts of the GU Immortals. When two tigers fought, one would definitely be injured. Whether it was Fang Yuan or Wu Yong, it was beneficial to the other clans. Moreover, it was not that they did not come to help, but weren't there immemorial year beasts here? Motley crew. Wu Yong took a quick glance, seeing that no one was coming to help him, he cursed in his heart. But facing the charging Fang Yuan, he was not the least bit afraid. Instead, his courage and battle intent were stimulated. I want to see what method you used to capture a rank 8 GU immortal. Wu Yong released clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building, controlling this immortal GU house to charge at Fang Yuan with a boundless and majestic aura. Although Fang Yuan had the mysterious immortal GU house, he was absolutely no match for clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building. A sinister cold light flashed in his eyes, he suddenly changed direction and charged down. Clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building's momentum was too fierce, it crashed into thin air. Wu Yong, you have the immortal GU house with you, you are safe enough. Then if I kill these rank 7 immortals of your southern border righteous path, can you save them one by one? Ha ha ha. Fang Yuan laughed maniacally. Damn it. Wu Yong quickly controlled clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building to change direction and chase after Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan said again, Wu Yong, you are really ambitious, you want to establish Southern Borders Alliance, you want to be the alliance leader, right? After I kill these people, let's see if you still have the face to be the alliance leader. Fang Yuan did not have any substantial confrontation with Wu Yong, but his words were like knives that cut deeply into Wu Yong's heart. Wu Yong led the Southern Border Immortals to surround and kill Fang Yuan. On one hand, it was because he had enmity with Fang Yuan and could not live under the same sky, but on the other hand, it was to pave the way for him to ascend to the alliance leader position and accumulate prestige. But if Fang Yuan really killed these rank 7 GU immortals, while Wu Yong sat in clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building unscathed, and could not do anything to Fang Yuan, then his prestige would definitely fall, and he would be even further away from the alliance leader position. Wu Yong was anxious and furious, he almost wanted to stomp his feet in clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building. Although clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building was extremely fast and the distance between it and Fang Yuan was shrinking rapidly, Fang Yuan had already arrived in front of those rank 7 GU immortals first. Hold on. Am I going to die? Not necessarily. There are so many GU immortals here, I still have hope of surviving. Before Fang Yuan attacked, these rank 7 Southern Border GU immortals had already lost their morale, they did not even have the slightest thought of counterattacking, they only thought of how to preserve their lives. Fang Yuan forcibly captured Central Continent's rank 8 GU immortals, this scene was too shocking. Die. Fang Yuan's roar suddenly stopped. At the crucial moment, a thick earth-yellow halo burst out from the Southern Border immortals' feet, protecting them. This was a rank 8 level defensive method. Fang Yuan, why the need to kill again? You kill me, I kill you. This cycle is so pitiful and pathetic. You are a hero of your time, Sai, why can't you see through this? Lu Weiyin's figure appeared not far away. You again. Fang Yuan's gaze was like a sword as he ruthlessly stared at Lu Weiyin. Boom. At the next moment, clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building crashed down like a meteor, carrying Wu Yong's intense hatred and anger, heavily crashing into Fang Yuan's back. Immortal Killer Move Reverse Flow Protection Seal. Fang Yuan was unscathed, the attack was completely reflected by clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building. But the huge impact was unavoidable, Fang Yuan was sent flying like a cannonball. Wu Yong's mind relaxed, after driving Fang Yuan away from these Southern Border rank 7 GU immortals, it would be even harder for him to attack them. But soon, Lu Weiyin's voice could be heard, oh no. This is Fang Yuan's plan, he wants to escape. Wu Yong's expression was ashen as he helplessly looked at Fang Yuan charging into that immortal aperture. The moment he entered, the immortal aperture's entrance closed loudly. Fang Yuan is extremely crafty, since he set up an ambush here, how could he not have arranged an escape route? After entering the immortal aperture, he definitely has an escape method, like fixed immortal travel. At once, veins bulged on Wu Yong's head, he felt extremely stifled. Immortal apertures were easy to defend and hard to attack, especially immortal apertures with a closed entrance. Of course, Southern Border's righteous path immortals were here, they could definitely take down this blessed land. But the time that Fang Yuan managed to buy was enough for him to escape. Wu Yong was extremely aggressive, he gathered a large group to encircle Fang Yuan, but he still failed. Not only was he unable to harm Fang Yuan at all, he even captured a Central Continent rank 8 GU immortal in front of everyone. This was simply a huge slap to Wu Yong's face. Even more despicable is this guy. Wu Yong's gaze was dark as he stared at Lu Weiyin. He suddenly spoke, Lu Weiyin, why didn't you stop him? Lu Weiyin quickly bowed and said slowly, I am ashamed. I have already tried my best to protect the southern border immortals, but I was unable to do so. In an instant, Lu Weiyin received countless gratitude from the southern border GU immortals. Wu Yong breathed heavily, he was extremely furious, he clenched his fists tightly but could not do anything to Lu Weiyin. Lu Weiyin was Paradise Earth's inheritor, he had a terrifying background, he was the biggest threat to Wu Yong's position as the alliance leader. Wu Yong led the immortals to kill Fang Yuan, he left Lu Weiyin behind, he did not want to bring him along so that he could build up his reputation. In the end, after the battle, Fang Yuan's escape was already set in stone, while Wu Yong gained nothing, his reputation fell greatly. In contrast, Lu Weiyin was the complete opposite. Wu Yong's gaze flickered like lightning. Chapter 1641. How can this be? How can this be? Southern Border's battle report had already arrived, Fairy Myrtle muttered with a perplexed look in her eyes. The grand and spacious hall was now filled with confusion. Not only did Fang Yuan not undergo tribulation, he had already reached rank 8. In fact, he even set up a trap in the 5 regional mountain range and captured the Celestial Court's GU immortal, Jun Shenguang. Fairy Myrtle already knew about the southern border GU immortals being captured by Fang Yuan, but she did not expect the same thing to befall her Celestial Court side so quickly. Celestial Court's GU immortals were actually captured alive. How long had it been since this happened? The moment she heard this news, Fairy Myrtle subconsciously thought of the illustrious battle achievements of several demon venerables in history. The space between her brows was even more sorrowful, and there was even more panic than usual. Even though she had always overestimated Fang Yuan, to think that today, Fang Yuan's growth was still far beyond her expectations. Ever since Fang Yuan obtained Reverse Flow Protection Seal, he has been a huge problem. Now that he is rank 8 and has Xia Cha's methods, even though he is using the 5 regional mountain range to weaken his enemies to a large extent, he can indeed pose a threat to the Celestial Court's GU immortal. Fairy Myrtle heaved a long sigh. She had already expected that such a day would come. Thus, she had tried all ways to eliminate this danger in advance, but she had never expected Fang Yuan's progress to be so rapid. Fang Yuan's progress is getting faster and faster. It seems that the quantitative change has triggered a qualitative change. But how in the world did he become rank 8 silently? Fairy Myrtle did not understand. Originally, she had thought that Fang Yuan's rapid cultivation progress was because he used a time path method to accelerate the flow of time in his immortal aperture. But now, Fairy Myrtle suddenly realized that Fang Yuan definitely had a wondrous method that could defy common sense and raise his cultivation level. Then, what is this method? Fairy Myrtle did not continue deducing, she left the hall and went to where Spectral Soul was imprisoned. The formation rumbled. After some time, Fairy Myrtle returned to the hall with a shocked expression. Sovereign Immortal Fetus GU. The Sovereign Immortal Aperture, so that's how it is. Fairy Myrtle muttered with a dazed expression. Spectral Soul's ambition shocked her. What made her even more wary was that Sovereign Immortal Fetus GU had already been refined and obtained by Fang Yuan. A strong sense of bitterness welled up in her heart. Spectral Soul had concealed himself so deeply. If Fang Yuan hadn't exposed the clues and aroused Fairy Myrtle's suspicions, she wouldn't have searched his soul. Otherwise, she would still be kept in the dark. No wonder Fang Yuan's cultivation has improved by leaps and bounds. This time, he was able to reach rank 8 because he annexed the immortal apertures of many southern border GU immortals and passed the calamities and tribulations. He was able to use Summer Fan Killer move to resist the attacks of other rank 8s. It means he also annexed Xia Cha's immortal aperture. That way, he would have enough time path Dao marks to amplify Summer Fan Killer move. Immortal apertures can only devour smaller apertures, but the Sovereign Immortal Aperture is special. But to annex Xia Cha's immortal aperture's rank 8 Grotto Heaven, it requires Great Grandmaster attainment level. How can Fang Yuan have it? Wait. Suddenly, Fairy Myrtle's expression turned ugly. All sorts of clues in her mind converged, the fog from earlier dissipated. Fang Yuan has a method to raise his attainment level from dream realms. No wonder he entered southern border and plundered dream realms. His great grandmaster attainment level must have been obtained from the dream realms. Gasp! Thinking of this, even the powerful and knowledgeable fairy Myrtle could not help but suck in a breath of cold air. Fang Yuan had the sovereign immortal aperture. He could annex it at any time to pass calamities and tribulations. And the biggest obstacle in annexing an aperture was the attainment level of the path. Raising attainment level was very difficult, it often took hundreds of years. But Fang Yuan could use dream realms to rapidly raise his attainment level. This way, he would enter a virtuous cycle. The explosive cultivation speed was enough to create huge waves in the history of human cultivation. No, more accurately speaking, the scary one is spectral soul. Fang Yuan was merely controlled by providence. He was reborn as a pawn to destroy spectral soul's heaven-defying plan, but he escaped from control in the end. Fairy Myrtle's body turned cold. Even though Heavenly Court had already imprisoned spectral soul, even Fairy Ziwei would interrogate spectral soul once in a while and search his soul to obtain crucial information. Spectral soul was not as powerful as spectral soul. Fairy Myrtle felt a wave of lingering fear. If spectral soul really succeeded, he would have great grandmaster attainment level in all paths, he would be filled with killing intent, he could annex apertures and cooperate with Shadow Sect and Zombie Alliance, his cultivation level would rise all the way to rank 8. At that level, spectral soul's main body would have pseudo-venerable battle strength. And most importantly, during the 5 regions chaotic war, when dream realms appear, spectral soul would have a chance to advance even further. From this move, it could be seen just how great his ambition was. He had already made countless preparations in this aspect. If he could really do that, he would have a huge advantage over the others. Even a great dream seed like Feng Kim Hoang would not have the chance to grow. Fortunately, he did not succeed at the most important stage. Now, it is Fang Yuan who replaced his original plan. From this, he did not succeed, but he did not fail completely either. Thinking of Fang Yuan, Fairy Myrtle frowned deeply. Fang Yuan gave up on so many southern border GU immortals to capture Jun Shenguang alive. His action is the same as when I soul searched spectral soul. He wants to search Jun Shenguang's soul for the arrangements of the celestial court. Oh no, the river of time. The river surged, coming from where it came and going to where it went. It was grand and majestic, reaching all the way to the limits of one's vision. Inside the immortal GU house, Fang Yuan quietly looked at the surging river water. It undulated and created countless dazzling waves. The river of time. Indeed, after entering the immortal aperture and gaining some time, Fang Yuan used fixed immortal travel's immortal killer move to escape. Not long after, he entered the river of time. At this moment, Jun Shenguang's soul was being plundered inside his sovereign immortal aperture. As the saying went, know yourself and know your enemy, and you will never be defeated. Fang Yuan urgently needed to know what arrangements the celestial court had in the river of time. I set up an ambush in the 5 regional mountain range and fought a huge battle. Even though I captured Jun Shenguang, I also exposed a lot of information. In order to not give the celestial court a chance to react, Fang Yuan wanted to catch them off guard and enter the river of time at this crucial moment. This Lu Weiyin is not simple. He acted at the right time and saved those southern border rank 7s at the most crucial moment. I'm afraid it's very likely that he's already hiding somewhere. Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable has a benevolent nature. He corrected the chaos and repaired the damage to spectral soul in the 5 regions. Especially in southern border, he has the highest reputation among the 10 venerables. He is the most popular. As his current inheritor, Lu Weiyin naturally inherited this reputation. Even though this person tried to deal with me, his true motive does not seem to be simple. He is shrouded in a layer of mystery. It is a pity that in the 500 years of my previous life, such a person did not exist. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan increasingly felt that his memories of the 500 years of his previous life were not reliable. Of course, there was also a possibility that after his rebirth, his indirect influence had increased to the point that it affected rank 8s like Lu Weiyin as well. Fang Yuan shook his head, putting Lu Weiyin to the back of his mind. He thought about Dao Zhu's inheritance. He felt some regret. Dao Zhu's true inheritance was definitely related to the 5 regional walls. Even though the 5 regional walls would disappear in the future, and the 5 regions would become one. Dao Zhu's research on how to cross regional walls seemed like a joke. But thinking about it, Dao Zhu could create the 5 regional mountain range. By imitating the 5 regional walls, wouldn't he be able to replace the location of the regional walls to defend? Especially for Fang Yuan, fighting in the regional walls was extremely beneficial to him. It is a pity, such a pity, the situation back then did not allow me to take this inheritance. I missed Dao Zhu's inheritance. Chapter 1642. Dao Zhu's true inheritance. If it were a few months ago, Fang Yuan might be able to use southern border GU immortals to exchange for this inheritance. But now, almost all of the southern border captives in his hands had already been devoured by him, directly killing them. These southern border GU immortals were all rank 7 experts. As for Xia Cha, she had rank 8 cultivation level. The sovereign immortal aperture devoured all of them, as well as the many immortal apertures in City Well. Fang Yuan's cultivation level rose sharply. He went from rank 7 to rank 8, passing the final grand tribulation of rank 7. Fang Yuan had planned to continue capturing southern border GU immortals in the 5 regional mountain range and extort them. But Lu Weiyin's attack destroyed Fang Yuan's plan. Not only did his cultivation level rise, because the sovereign immortal aperture devoured immortal apertures, Fang Yuan's Dao marks also rose sharply. Through perceivable Dao immortal Gu's careful measurements, Fang Yuan had a huge accumulation of Dao marks. He had very few time path Dao marks, almost at the bottom, but now, he was at the top, with a total of 73,000 Dao marks. Almost all of them were contributed by Xia Cha. It was a classic example of plundering by force, getting rich overnight. With so many time path Dao marks, each of Fang Yuan's time path killer moves could be amplified by 73 times. Furthermore, Spring and Summer GU were rank 8 GU immortals. Their battle strength was quite impressive. In the 5 regional mountain range, they resisted the joint attacks of many GU immortals. Of course, this was also because of the 5 regional walls' geographical advantage. Southern borders GU immortals did not cooperate well, they weakened each other. Second was Water Path Dao marks. It surpassed 60,000. Water Path itself had a lot of accumulation. Fang Yuan killed lone immortals Zhu Li, Wu Yihai, Yu Chan, and others, and the Eastern Sea lone cultivators who died in City Well were mostly Water Path cultivators. Third was Transformation Path Dao marks. It had 50,000. This was the original first place. It had been accumulating for a long time, but now it had fallen to third place. Fourth was Soul Path. It surpassed 30,000. The immortal aperture's own Dao marks, as well as the Yellow Spring Ghost Martial statue's Earthly Calamity, Green Lightning Divine Martial statue's Heavenly Tribulation, and so on, he had over 29,000. As for the remaining hundreds of Daoist marks, they had been added to his soul by Fang Yuan, a soul cultivator. According to the records of Spectral Soul's true inheritance, Million Man Soul, 10 Million Man Soul, 100 Million Man Soul, Desolate Soul, only when a soul cultivator reaches Desolate Soul would the Dao marks on the soul reach 1,000. After that, there were Ice and Snow Path, Rule Path, Metal Path, Wood Path, Fire Path, Wind Path, and other common paths. There were about 20,000 of them. Below that were Dark Path, Light Path, Strength Path, Chi Path, Luck Path, Sound Path, Blood Path, and many others. At the very bottom were Food Path, Phantom Path, and other paths. They had a scale of a few thousand, a few hundred, and even 0. He looked at the dream again. All of the dreamlands in Fang Yuan's possession had been successfully explored by him in the past few months, and the dreamlands of each school had grown to varying degrees. The highest was still Refinement Path, Quasi-Supreme Grandmaster Realm. The second was Theft Path and Time Path, Great Grandmaster Level. The third tier was Blood Path, Strength Path, Star Path, Wisdom Path, and so on. They were all Grandmasters. Rule Path and Soul Path also joined in. There were many paths below, but they were not detailed. It was not like the number of Dao marks, the higher one's attainment level, the harder it was to increase. The most obvious increase was still in time path, soul path, and rule path. Other than Dao marks and dream realms, Fang Yuan's sovereign immortal aperture's development had also reached 15% after annexing a large number of immortal apertures. What was worth mentioning was that in Xia Cha's immortal aperture, Fang Yuan unexpectedly found that there was also a year essence pool in her immortal aperture. This way, there were 2 year essence pools in Fang Yuan's sovereign immortal aperture. Other than these, Fang Yuan's greatest gains were 2. One was Luo Po Seal. Fang Yuan had been trying to comprehend this immortal killer move, he had only deduced it recently. The second was the incomplete form of an immortal Jiyu house. Fang Yuan had wanted to build an immortal Jiyu house long ago, to make it convenient for Bai Ningbing and He Lulan to fight for him. To build this immortal Jiyu house, Fang Yuan had used secluded residence, Cloud City, Dark Flow Giant City, Profound Ice House, Unbreakable Iron Fortress, Blood River Chariot, Nightmare Castle, Green Wave Pavilion, Weaving Cocoon Pavilion, Golden Altar, Regret Pool, Sacred Feather City, Floating City, Regret Pool, Baihe Palace and other immortal Jiyu houses, with emphasis on graceful chaotic dual stage. In the past few months, he had been extorting Southern Border's righteous path, exchanging Jiyu for Jiyu, exchanging many crucial immortal Jiyu to create the framework. This immortal Jiyu house was created by Fang Yuan, it could be said to be unprecedented. And because he wanted to go to the River of Time, it mainly used Time Path Immortal Jiyu, it had various abilities and was most proficient in concealment. Even though it was only a framework, it was very useful in the 5 regional mountain range. Ying Wuxie and the rest relied on this house to cooperate with Fang Yuan and successfully capture Jun Shenguang. In the River of Time, the tides rose and fell, waves splashed and splashed, creating colorful lights. Fang Yuan rode the incomplete immortal Jiyu house as he moved slowly in the river. The rank 6 time path clone had already come out of the sovereign immortal aperture, it stood beside him with its eyes closed, sensing silently. Red Lotus Demon Venerable had left behind many true inheritances scattered in the River of Time. And Spring-Autumn Cicada was the key to sense them. But the River of Time was huge, to find a few stone lotus islands, other than luck, a lot of time and effort was needed. In this exploration of the River of Time, it would be best if I can find Red Lotus true inheritances. But most importantly, I need to probe the arrangements of the Celestial Court here, I need to catch them off guard, and if possible, I need to destroy their arrangement. Fang Yuan thought as he searched Jun Shenguang's soul in the sovereign immortal aperture. Jun Shenguang's soul was originally protected by light path Dao marks, but after being hit by Fang Yuan's Luo Po Seal, this layer of defense was completely destroyed. Jun Shenguang's soul was also injured, he was on the brink of death. Precisely so, after Ying Wuxie used lead soul into dream, Jun Shenguang was directly hit and fell unconscious. The premise of lead soul into dream was to sense the soul and then compare the difference between the soul. The greater the difference between the enemy and oneself, the easier it was to succeed. To be able to cause such a result against a rank 8 GU immortal, Luo Po Seal was very powerful. However, compared to Reverse Flow Protection Seal, and thinking about how Fang Yuan used Luo Po Valley as the core of this move, it was not surprising that it had such power. Right now, Jun Shenguang's soul was so weak, he could not resist Fang Yuan's methods. Fang Yuan received a lot of information. What arrangements did the Celestial Court make? Jun Shenguang definitely knows a thing or two. After a while, Fang Yuan's brows relaxed, he had a discovery. Oh? Time Path Immortal GU House Present and Past Pavilion. He had just thought of this when the river water in front of him suddenly surged up. A pavilion was riding the waves like a flying boat. This pavilion had no ventilation on all sides, it had a simple structure. The pavilion cover seemed to be made of yellow grass, the pavilion pillars were grey-white rocks that had not been polished. There was a screen in the pavilion, it was the most luxurious decoration. There were 4 GU immortals standing in the pavilion, they had rank 7 cultivation level, they looked at Fang Yuan's incomplete immortal GU house with dangerous light flickering in their eyes. This present and past pavilion is a pure time path immortal GU house, it can observe the past and present, it is most proficient in investigative techniques. The celestial court arranged this room. The moment I entered, they sensed me. Amazing. Amazing. Fang Yuan's heart sank, but he praised and explained to Ying Wuxie and the rest. Ying Wuxie, Bai Ningbing, and the rest frowned. Some had dark expressions. They had some understanding. The strongest aspect of Fang Yuan's incomplete immortal Jiyu house was its concealment ability. To think that present and past pavilion could see through it. This was like being defeated by the enemy in their strongest aspect. Before the battle even started, they were already in a passive state. Present and past pavilion charged towards Fang Yuan's group and stopped. It was 1,000 steps away from the incomplete immortal Jiyu house, unmoving like a mountain. A person in the pavilion said coldly, "The 4 Xuanzi of Central Continent are guarding this place. Demon, don't think about advancing." Another person behind him shouted, "That's right. If you want to pass, you have to step over our corpses. 4 Xuanzi." Fang Yuan's soul searched Jun Shenguang. He quickly obtained their information. Chapter 1643. According to Jun Shenguang's information, the 4 Xuanzi had the same cultivation level. They were all rank 7 and had learned a combination attack technique with extraordinary power. They could even fight against a rank 8 GU immortal. Of course, they could only fight once. After a few rounds, they would definitely be defeated by the rank 8 GU immortal. They were not like Fang Yuan or Feng Zhouge, who had battle strength that could fight rank 8s. Even so, this was already quite impressive. After the 4 Xuanzi were nurtured, they were treated as trump cards by Spirit Butterfly Valley. They could not be mobilized easily. Celestial Court wants to make arrangements in the River of Time. Spirit Butterfly Valley has no choice but to obey. 4 Xuanzi, these 4 are all time path and have great teamwork. They are the best candidates to control present and past pavilion. Fang Yuan frowned slightly. 4 Xuanzi and present and past pavilion were not out of Fang Yuan's expectations. Rank 8 GU immortals who happened to be time path were rare indeed. Celestial Court originally had Lord Huang Shi. Unfortunately, he had been killed by Fang Yuan using Red Lotus Island in the River of Time. Celestial Court had to deal with Fang Yuan and set up defenses in the River of Time. They could only choose rank 7 GU immortals for their time path manpower. Unless some old monsters from Celestial Court's immortal graveyard came out of their own accord. What Fang Yuan was concerned about was that other than present and past pavilion, Celestial Court also had a time path immortal GU house, Eternal Yacht. Present and past pavilion is very proficient in investigation. It happened to be nearby, so it was the first to stop me. I cannot stay here. If the 4 Xuanzi succeed in delaying me, Eternal Yacht will come and reinforce me. It will be 2 against 1. It will be very disadvantageous to me. Celestial Court had a huge advantage. Even though they could not bring out a time path rank 8, they definitely had rank 8s of other paths. They also had 2 immortal GU houses, present and past pavilion and Eternal Yacht. In contrast, Fang Yuan only had an incomplete immortal GU house. Even though Fang Yuan had advanced to rank 8, He Lulan, Bai Ningbing and the rest had weak cultivation levels. Fang Yuan immediately opened his immortal aperture's entrance and let out the second batch of immemorial year beasts. The first batch of immemorial year beasts he set up in the 5-boundary mountain range were either injured or killed by the southern border righteous path. Fang Yuan did not have time to recall them. But it didn't matter. Fang Yuan still had a second batch. After annexing Xia Cha's immortal aperture, Fang Yuan had a second-year essence pool, which contained Xia Cha's 2 immemorial year beasts. In addition, for the past few months, Fang Yuan had been using the immemorial year beast fishing array to lure many immemorial year beasts into the year essence pool. As such, Fang Yuan had gathered 2 batches of immemorial year beasts, and the second batch had 9 of them. The only flaw was that Fang Yuan did not gather 12 different immemorial year beasts to form an ancient battle formation. During the entire process, he also tried to collect them. However, when he really tried to implement it, he realized that this kind of collection was really difficult to achieve. Most of them were immemorial year chickens. During this period of time, the River of Time had been producing these year beasts. In Fang Yuan's second batch of immemorial year beasts, there were 5 immemorial year chickens, more than half of the total. The 9 immemorial year beasts roared as they charged towards present and past pavilion. Inside present and past pavilion, the 4 Xuanzi had solemn expressions as they worked together to unleash the power of present and past pavilion. Whoosh! A huge wave of 10 feet tall surged towards the 9 immemorial year beasts. Immemorial year beasts were ferocious beasts that lived in the river of time. The waves created by present and past pavilion could not stop their charge. In an instant, they paused for a moment before breaking through the obstruction, creating countless waves as they continued to attack present and past pavilion. The surface of present and past pavilion shone with bright light. The light shot into the sky like a pillar. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, wave after wave of giant waves rose up like moving city walls, attacking and defending at the same time, continuously crashing towards the immemorial year beasts. Fang Yuan's heart moved. The immemorial year beasts received his command and cooperated with each other. Like arrows, they shot through the waves and city walls, closing in on present and past pavilion. But unexpectedly, the 4 Xuanzi suddenly shouted in unison. The screen in present and past pavilion suddenly gave off faint green smoke. The green smoke flew into the battlefield. The immemorial year beasts were all affected. Their speed decreased as if they had fallen into a swamp. The green smoke settled down and melted into the surface of the river of time, dyeing the surface layer of the river of time green. Present and past pavilion shook heavily. The light pillar that shot into the sky suddenly dissipated, turning into green light that shrouded in all directions. The sound of the waves suddenly became turbulent. The waves were many times stronger than before, reaching a height of more than 10 feet. Not just that, dozens of whirlpools formed on the surface of the river of time, becoming the best trap to trap the immemorial year beasts. The 9 immemorial year beasts were originally gathered together, but after the attack of the waves and the whirlpools, their formation quickly broke apart. They fell into a difficult situation. At once, present and past pavilion sat at the center, controlling the situation. Fang Yuan's immemorial year beasts were completely at a disadvantage. The 4 Xuanzi's expressions relaxed. Shang Xuanzi let out a breath of air. We finally got through the initial stage. We were not defeated by the demon's attacks. Zun Guozi smiled. Present and past pavilion has already controlled the battlefield. Even though Fang Yuan has many immemorial year beasts, they cannot gather together. They are not a threat. That's right. Shang Xuanzi stroked his beard. Even though present and past pavilion is not his match and will lose in the end. As long as we stall for some time, eternal yacht will reinforce us. At that time, our strength will soar and surpass the other party. Shang Xuanzi had a deep gaze. The demon is crafty. We cannot be careless. We need to be careful. He had just said that when an immemorial year monkey closest to present and past pavilion burst out, using an immortal killer move. It held a huge fan in its hand as it waved towards the front. Rank 8 immortal killer move, summer fan. In an instant, intense winds blew, sweeping everything in the surroundings. The entire battlefield turned dark. The immemorial year monkey was surrounded by several huge waves. It was like a sturdy wall that supported the sky. But with one wave of this summer fan, it crumbled and crumbled. The immemorial year monkey laughed strangely as it charged forward. The 4 Xuanzi in present and past pavilion were shocked. They soon realized that this immemorial year monkey was Fang Yuan's disguise. That demon is fighting personally. Impossible. We have the investigative killer move that Lady Ziwei taught us. We can see through his familiar face. Why were we still deceived? Fang Yuan snickered internally. He had been racing against time for the past few months. He used all his time and energy to the limit. Familiar face was also modified. Fang Yuan finally arrived in front of the 4 Xuanzi. Present and past pavilion burst out with dazzling light again. Fang Yuan used the immemorial year monkey's sturdy body to punch with both fists, but it was like an ant trying to shake a tree. There was only a loud sound. Present and past pavilion did not budge. It is useless. The current present and past pavilion is like a 1,000-year-old tree. It is rooted in the river of time. How can you move it? Zun Guozi screamed. She was very nervous. Is that so? Fang Yuan's eyes shined with bright light. He used immortal killer move spring scissors at the next moment. Crack, crack. Spring scissors continued to cut. At first, present and past pavilion could still hold on, but after a few cuts, The light on the surface could not hold on anymore. After 5 or 6 cuts, a corner of present and past pavilion's roof was cut off. This is a rank 8 time path killer move, but how can it have such power? Even present and past pavilion cannot match it. How can this be? The 4 Xuanzi panicked. Fang Yuan's eyes flashed with cold lightning. He originally had over 70,000 time path Dao marks. He was at rank 8 level. Now that he had turned into the immemorial year monkey, his transformation path Dao marks turned into time path Dao marks, he gained another 50,000. Thus, he had over 120,000 time path Dao marks. Ordinary rank 7 GU immortals did not have more than 30,000 Dao marks. 120,000 Dao marks was not an ordinary rank 8 GU immortal. Only those who had passed a myriad tribulation would have such an accumulation. 120,000 Dao marks could amplify any time path killer move's power by 120 times. And Fang Yuan was using 2 rank 8 level immortal killer moves. Even though present and past pavilion had the terrain advantage, Fang Yuan's killer moves were also amplified by the environment in the River of Time. Fang Yuan's time path strength rose sharply. Even present and past pavilion could not resist his demonic might. Fang Yuan's 2 killer moves attacked from both sides, forcing present and past pavilion to retreat. Inside present and past pavilion, the 4 Xuanzi resisted with all their might, occasionally retaliating. Fang Yuan did not need to use winter coat to defend himself. He could endure the attacks with just his immemorial year monkey body. Persevere. A huge ship arrived from afar, riding the waves. Several GU immortals on the ship shouted with nervous expressions. It was Eternal Yacht. It is too late. Fang Yuan snickered to himself. He waved his summer fan and created a huge tornado. Present and past pavilion's tiles were blown away. It was on the verge of collapse. Spring scissors flew to him and cut. Present and past pavilion's pillars were cut. It collapsed completely. Fang Yuan laughed loudly. He jumped above present and past pavilion and kicked with his immemorial year monkey leg. Boom! The entire present and past pavilion broke apart. The 4 Xuanzi were either dead or injured. They were kicked into the River of Time by Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan left with the incomplete immortal GU house. Chapter 1644. Cough cough cough. Shang Xianzi was sprawled on the deck of Eternal Yacht, coughing continuously. He was soaked in water. Beside him, Xia Xianzi had already fainted. His injuries were severe and his condition was not good. Rank 8 GU immortal Qing Yi walked over, looking at Shang Xianzi calmly. The other 2 were swept away by the River of Time. We cannot find them. Shang Xianzi breathed heavily, standing up with difficulty. He looked at Xia Xianzi with a pale expression. The 2 of them died in battle. This demon Fang Yuan is truly amazing. How is the search for the remaining survivors of present and past pavilion? The 4 Xuanzi were siblings. They were very close, but right now, Shang Xianzi was more concerned about present and past pavilion. He did not care about the dying Xia Xianzi. He did not feel any sadness or anger. Qing Yi smiled lightly. The core immortal GU are not damaged. They have all been retrieved. That's good. Shang Xianzi let out a breath of air. His expression eased up. Qing Yi nodded. I have already prepared a quiet room for you. Shang Xianzi, thank you. I will go down and revive my siblings. It turned out that the 4 Xuanzi were siblings. They were the closest. They cultivated an incredible killer move. Even if the 3 died, as long as one of them survived, they could use the killer move to revive the other 3. Precisely so, Shang Xuanzi did not feel any sadness. A moment later, the 4 Xuanzi were healed. They returned to the deck and joined the battle. The second batch of immemorial year beasts that Fang Yuan left behind were surrounding Eternal Yacht, attacking from all directions. The river water surged. The sound of waves filled Fang Yuan's ears. Right now, he had returned to his original appearance. He had entered the incomplete immortal GU house to rest. With this incomplete immortal GU house, Fang Yuan had a base of operations. It was very convenient. That Eternal Yacht did not chase after us. They had already left the battlefield for some time. Fang Yuan relaxed slightly. The incomplete immortal GU house's speed could not compare to Eternal Yacht. It specialized in concealment. With present and past pavilion, the incomplete immortal Gu house would be exposed. But Eternal Yacht might not be able to sense the incomplete immortal Gu house. Otherwise, why hadn't the Eternal Arc caught up to them after such a long time? We're safe for now. Yingwu Xie took a deep breath. There was still some lingering fear in his heart. That was a really tense moment. That's right. If sect leader didn't destroy the pavilion of present and past in time, I'm afraid we would have fallen into the quagmire of the battle. Goddess Miao Yin smiled. Bai Ningbing remained silent at the side. He Lulan was also quietly looking at the vast river of time outside the immortal Gu house. Fang Yuan's time path clone had his eyes closed, frowning slightly. He tried his best to sense it, but his vital Gu, spring-autumn cicada, did not have much reaction. The truth was, according to spectral soul demon Venerable's deduction, the higher the rank of spring-autumn cicada, the wider the range of its senses, and the easier it would be to find Red Lotus's true inheritance. Fang Yuan's spring-autumn cicada only had 6 revolutions. Even though he had a large number of corresponding immortal Gu recipes, and Fang Yuan had attempted to refine it several times, he still failed. This was truly regrettable, but Fang Yuan had already tried his best. For the last few months, he had done his best: soul path cultivation, exploring dream realms, modifying killer moves, extorting Southern Border's righteous path, planning the entire situation, defending against deductions, annexing immortal apertures, and so on. He had expended all his energy and time. Being able to squeeze out some time to refine spring-autumn cicada was quite a miracle. But the true miracle did not happen. Fang Yuan's attempts all ended in failure. Spring-autumn cicada might be rank 6, but I have already made up for it in other aspects. Fang Yuan's eyes shined with confidence. He had planned for a long time to enter the river of time this time. Fang Yuan had already used methods like burning soul bursting luck in the aspect of luck path. He only stopped after reaching the limit of his abilities. Finding 1 or 2 red lotus stone islands in this vast river of time naturally depended on luck. Roar. The river water suddenly became turbulent. Beast roars entered everyone's ears. There are 2 immemorial year beasts fighting ahead. After inspecting, Yingwu Xie was shocked. Looking closely, these 2 immemorial year beasts had been fighting for a long time. They were at the end of their tether. Fang Yuan laughed heartily. Wasn't his luck here? He flew out of the incomplete immortal Gu house and activated familiar face, turning into a river and entering the river of time. Next, he opened his immortal aperture's entrance slightly and activated the immemorial year beast fishing formation. Those 2 immemorial year beasts sensed the strong aura of delicious food. They stopped at the same time and rushed towards Fang Yuan. They did not find any enemies, but they sensed a tributary of the river of time hidden in the river water. The immemorial year beasts did not even think about it. They charged into this tributary of the river of time. This tributary of the river of time belonged to Fang Yuan's sovereign immortal aperture. If it were before, Fang Yuan would not dare to fish immemorial year beasts like this. If they entered, they would definitely cause damage to the sovereign immortal aperture. But now was different. Fang Yuan already had year essence pools, and 2 of them. The year essence pool was connected to the tributary of the river of time. It was like a huge dam. The immemorial year beasts were lured by the formation. Following the tributary of the river of time, they charged into the dam and became trapped. Fang Yuan laughed heartily. He stopped his transformation killer move and flew back to the incomplete immortal Gu house. Those 2 immemorial year monkeys were trapped in the year essence pool. They could not find food anywhere. They sensed something amiss and wanted to return to the river of time, but how could that be possible? Fang Yuan used enslavement path methods and quickly subdued these 2 immemorial year beasts. The incomplete immortal Gu house moved stealthily, searching for Red Lotus Stone Island. Fang Yuan encountered many more year beasts. He did not reject any of them. He directly lured them into the year essence pool and subdued them. Soon, Fang Yuan had 6 immemorial year beasts. He had even more ancient and desolate level year beasts. Other than year beasts, there were other life forms in the river of time, like sun beasts, moon beasts, and dark web spiders, but Fang Yuan wisely abandoned them. The year essence pool's effect was fully displayed at this moment. With it, Fang Yuan could directly lure immemorial year beasts in, and the sovereign immortal aperture would still be very safe. Without the restriction of the year essence pool, immemorial year beasts could follow the tributary of the river of time to any place in the sovereign immortal aperture. Because the tributary of the river of time passed through the entire sovereign immortal aperture. Wait. While moving, Fang Yuan's time path clone suddenly opened his eyes, bright light shined in them. He seemed to have made a huge discovery. The time path clone closed his eyes again, frowning deeply as he tried to sense. Next, he pointed in a direction. There seems to be something over there. It made spring-autumn cicada tremble slightly. The time path clone's tone was uncertain. But this was the only clue. Fang Yuan immediately controlled the incomplete immortal Gu house to change directions and move forward. As the distance shortened, Fang Yuan's clone's expression became more joyful. The reaction is getting stronger, our luck is really good, we got results so quickly. After moving for a while, a thin layer of fog appeared in front of Fang Yuan's group. The incomplete immortal Gu house slowed down slightly, but without any hesitation, it flew into the fog. The fog was very extraordinary. It could reverse one's direction and confuse one's emotions. But Fang Yuan's clone relied on spring-autumn cicada. It was like he had the most crucial key. He could point out the direction at any time. The fog was thick. The river water became calm under the cover of the fog. It was not as turbulent as outside. Vaguely, the vague silhouette of a stone island appeared in front of Fang Yuan's group. Stone Lotus Island. Red Lotus True Inheritance. Ying Wuxie stared with wide eyes, shouting in shock. Bai Ningbing and the rest could not help but feel their breathing quicken. When the incomplete immortal Gu house reached the edge of the Stone Lotus Island, the stone island suddenly shot out a bright white light that struck the incomplete immortal Gu house. What's going on? Fairy Miao Yin screamed. Oh no! This is a trap! Fang Yuan's eyes shined with sharp light, but it was too late to leave now. The entire incomplete immortal Gu house shook intensely, resisting the powerful attack with difficulty. Demon, I have been waiting for you for a long time. A rank 8 Gu immortal with a majestic body suddenly appeared on the Stone Lotus Island. At the next moment, the killer move that he had prepared for a long time hit the incomplete immortal Gu house. Boom. Chapter 1645. Fang Yuan's incomplete immortal Gu house did not specialize in defense. After being hit, it broke apart. Fang Yuan and the rest quickly defended themselves inside the immortal Gu house. Large amounts of flames devoured all the Gu worms in the way like poisonous snakes. They attacked Fang Yuan and the rest from all directions. Fang Yuan shouted as he activated the immortal killer move Wintercoat. His body was immediately covered in a layer of white frost. The frost not only protected Fang Yuan himself, it even spread out at this crucial moment to protect the time path clone, He Lulan, Ying Wuxie, Bai Ningbing, and the rest. In this aspect, Wintercoat was superior to Reverse Flow Protection Seal. Because Reverse Flow Protection Seal could only protect oneself, it could not help others. But Wintercoat Killer Move could push oneself to the target. Wintercoat Killer Move blocked the fire snakes, but at the next moment, the old man on the Stone Lotus Island shouted, "Brilliant might, snakes turn into dragon." Whoosh! The flames suddenly erupted, and a ferocious heat spewed out. The fire snakes intertwined and converged, turning into a terrifying flame dragon that was more than 100 feet long and bearing its fangs. The crimson flame dragon tore through Wintercoat Killer Move and attacked Fang Yuan again. Fang Yuan had wanted to open his immortal aperture's entrance and take the immortals into the sovereign immortal aperture, but he did not expect this fire snake killer move to have a follow-up. The old man had rich battle experience. He did not give Fang Yuan any leeway. The fire dragon was extremely lifelike. It opened its mouth and charged down from above. Fang Yuan and the rest looked up. Their faces were bright red from the light of the fire. The intense heat assaulted them as if they were being roasted on a grill. Bai Ningbing, He Lulan, and the rest's expressions changed. Despair appeared in their eyes. This fire dragon was not an ordinary rank 8 killer move. It had extraordinary power. Even Bai Ningbing's Bai Xiong killer move could not escape from it. Their only hope was Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan's nostrils, ears, and mouth were all bleeding. Winter Coat Killer move was broken. Fang Yuan suffered the backlash of a rank 8 killer move. A large number of mortal GU were destroyed. Fortunately, the core immortal GU were still around. They were only slightly damaged and could still be used temporarily. Fang Yuan was faced with a dilemma. Behind him were his Time Path clone, Bai Ning Bing, He Lulan, and the rest. Their cultivation level was too low. They could not stop this flame dragon by themselves. If they had the incomplete immortal GU house, they would at least be qualified to participate in the battle, but the old man was extremely ruthless. He destroyed the incomplete immortal GU house at once. If Fang Yuan stayed on the spot and blocked for them, not only would his winter coat be broken, he would not have any good methods. Even if he did, it would be very dangerous. Because the old man wanted to force Fang Yuan to go against him. Once Fang Yuan fought him for the sake of protecting the immortals behind him, then he would undoubtedly fall into the old man's trap. Fang Yuan was almost certain that the old man still had killer moves. Once Fang Yuan fought the flame dragon, he would fall into the old man's rhythm. He would be led around by the nose in the following battle. In an instant, Fang Yuan made up his mind. He moved at lightning speed, dodging the flame dragon. The old man laughed maniacally. What a demon! Then burn all of you to ashes. The flame dragon ignored Fang Yuan. It continued to charge down. Fang Yuan snorted coldly. He suddenly changed his direction and charged towards the old man. The old man immediately shifted his gaze and stared at Fang Yuan. His lips curled into a sinister smile as he watched Fang Yuan charge towards him. Fang Yuan's heart sank. He attacked. He wanted to attack the weak to save the weak, but he did not expect the old man to be so courageous. He was not afraid of fighting to the death. In fact, it was very likely that there were other arrangements on this stone lotus island. He was very confident. Fang Yuan pointed with his finger. The results of his months of hard work and sleepless training were fruitful. Spring Scissors was activated once again and shot towards the old man. The scissors were sharp, but when it cut the old man's body, the old man's hair suddenly started burning, turning into a huge flame cloak that burned fiercely, blocking the spring scissors. Ha ha ha, this move of mine is called Verdant Sun Flame Cloak. I got inspiration from Verdant Great Sun's flame hair in the legends of Renzu. It is my proudest creation. I will tell you the truth, even though I am a Fire Path GU immortal, in terms of offense, I am stronger in defense. Not just spring scissors, even if summer fan attacks me, I will not fear it. The old man laughed loudly. But at the next moment, the old man's laughter stopped. It turned out that the flame dragon's attack was futile, be it Fang Yuan's Time Path clone, Bai Ning Bing, or He Lulan, they were all alive. The old man's eyelids twitched. He licked his dry lips as he said fiercely, "This is a dream realm?" It turned out that Fang Yuan did not dodge the flame dragon because he gave up on his clone and the other GU immortals. He made Ying Wuxie self-detonate at the crucial moment. Ever since the battle of the 5 regional mountain range, Ying Wuxie had changed his body to a pure dream reality seeker physique body. And because of the help of the pure dream reality seeker physique body mountain's dream path Dao marks, he was able to use lead soul into dream and successfully trap the rank 8 GU immortal Jun Shenguang. Now that the pure dream reality seeker physique body self-detonated, Ying Wuxie's soul fell into the dream realm. The other immortals were also trapped because they were close. The dream realm's initial appearance cut off all other paths methods. The old man's flame dragon was extremely fierce, but when it reached the dream realm, it was like a phantom. It had no effect. You are truly a crafty demon, but you will die today. The old man stomped his feet as he flew into the sky. The stone lotus island below him turned into smoke and dissipated. The old man was covered in a layer of flame cloak. He charged towards Fang Yuan like a flaming meteor. Spring scissors followed him like a shadow. They cut his body repeatedly, but they were blocked by the blazing flames. They could not harm the old man at all. Fang Yuan flew back as he activated Summer Fan. Winds blew wildly, causing the old man's flame cloak to flutter loudly, but it was like the fire was being fueled by the wind. It grew stronger and stronger. The old man's mouth opened wide. He showed his sharp teeth as he laughed maniacally. How is it? My verdant sun flame cloak is peerless. Do you feel despair? Ha ha ha. Like the old man had said, spring scissors and summer fan could not do anything to Verdant Sun Flame Cloak. Not just that, as they got closer, an intense drunkenness assaulted Fang Yuan. But soon, Fang Yuan activated a Wisdom Path killer move, his eyes regained clarity. Verdant Sun Flame Cloak not only contained the extreme profundity of Fire Path, it also simulated the profundities of Human Path, Food Path, and others. The closer he got to the old man, the stronger the drunkenness he felt. Fang Yuan kept retreating. He wanted to pull some distance away from the old man, but things did not go as he wished. The other party's speed surpassed Fang Yuan's. Demon, you are trapped in the formation. Where can you escape to? Obediently accept your death. The old man roared. The Stone Lotus Island earlier was just an illusion. Its true essence was a super time path immortal formation set up in the River of Time. This formation was extremely powerful. Even Fang Yuan could not see through it. Now that it was activated, it formed a formation space, restraining Fang Yuan inside, restricting omnidirectional travel, fixed immortal travel, and other similar methods. Fang Yuan had previously used a time path formation to ambush Southern Border's righteous path. This time, the Celestial Court also set up a formation to trap Fang Yuan. However, the Celestial Court was much more generous than Fang Yuan. A time path formation set up in the River of Time was not something Fang Yuan could set up. With Fang Yuan's current ability, he could at most set up a time path immortal formation near the tributary of the River of Time in the 5 regions. Even in history, there were very few time path great experts who could set up immortal formations in the River of Time. The one who reached the pinnacle was undoubtedly Red Lotus Demon Venerable. This existence's methods had already surpassed the level of time path immortal formations. He directly set up a man-made secluded domain of heaven and earth, Stone Lotus Island, affecting a segment of the River of Time for his own use. The Celestial Court had been searching for Stone Lotus Islands. Even though they had not found one, it was not without results. The time path immortal formation here was one of the results. The formation restrained Fang Yuan. He could not dodge or evade. The old man got closer. Fang Yuan snorted coldly. He did not retreat. He charged at the old man. The old man was astonished for a moment, but he quickly reacted and waved his hand, sending blazing flames towards Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan did not fear him. He charged forward. Instead, the raging flames rolled back and attacked the old man. It was the immortal killer move Reverse Flow Protection Seal. The old man was flustered. He blocked his killer move, but at this moment, Fang Yuan had already arrived in front of him. Fang Yuan was ruthless. He used his body to charge at the old man. Reverse Flow Protection Seal versus Verdant Sun Flame Cloak. At the next moment, Fang Yuan and the old man were both sent flying. In this competition, they were evenly matched. The old man was at a slight disadvantage, but soon, his flame cloak started burning again. He recovered to his peak state. Reverse Flow Protection Seal was very effective against offensive killer moves. But Verdant Sun Flame Cloak was mainly used for defense. The power that was reflected was very little. This is Reverse Flow Protection Seal? Heh, you discovered it so quickly. The old man's gaze was dark. It turned out that this time path immortal formation, other than forming an internal space and isolating the outside, it also had a core ability, that was to create an environment that weakened time path. The Celestial Court's intention was to use this formation to deal with Red Lotus's true inheritance Stone Lotus Islands. These islands were man-made time path secluded domains of heaven and earth. After entering the formation, they would be weakened by the formation. Precisely so, Fang Yuan's 2 killer moves, Spring Scissors and Summer Fan, were so helpless against Verdant Sun Flame Cloak. Verdant Sun Flame Cloak was very strong. This move was not just the peak of Fire Path, it extended from Fire Path, it involved the profundities of Human Path and Food Path. In terms of subtlety, the Reverse Flow Protection Seal was crude, superficial, and straightforward. Myriad Self-Killer Move, on the other hand, contained Enslavement Path and Strength Path. It was comparable to Verdant Sun Flame Cloak in terms of profundity. Spring Scissors and Summer Fan killer moves were even more ordinary. They contained rank 8 immortal GU and were amplified by time path Dao marks. That was why they were so powerful. They could not break Verdant Sun Flame Cloak, but they could still cause a huge impact. It was not like the current battle, the effect was very weak. After Fang Yuan comprehended this, he immediately cancelled Winter Coat Killer move and used Reverse Flow Protection Seal instead. He managed to turn the situation around. For the fastest and most up-to-date novel reading, please visit Chapter 1646. Immortal Killer Move Myriad Dragon. Roar, roar, roar. At once, countless dragons danced with silver scales. They charged towards the old man from all directions. After understanding the time path formation's details, Fang Yuan had no choice but to give up on his strongest time path method, but he could still use other methods. In comparison, Fang Yuan's methods were much more plentiful. The old man snorted coldly, not showing any surprise on his face. Before coming here, he had already made ample battle preparations. He was familiar with Fang Yuan's Myriad Dragon Killer move. "You mudskippers, what can you do to me?" The old man stood proudly in the sky. He did not dodge, he watched as the myriad dragons attacked him. The verdant sun flame cloak on his body burned intensely, wrapping around him like a huge fireball. When the myriad dragons reached the old man, they started to roar strangely. The sword dragons were filled with drunkenness, they flew around randomly, their ferocious attacks crumbled immediately. When each sword dragon reached a certain level of drunkenness, they started to spontaneously combust with a loud sound. The sword dragons turned into lumps of fire. After burning intensely, they dissipated rapidly. From the looks of it, the ferocious old man was able to burn the 10,000 dragons into ashes without even moving. The sword dragons were huge, but when they got close to the old man, they perished immediately. They could not even harm a hair on the old man. Immortal Killer Move Verdant Sun Flame Cloak. Fang Yuan's pupils shrunk. He witnessed the power of this move. It had both offense and defense. It was the bane of Fang Yuan's Myriad Dragon Killer move. "Then have a taste of my Luo Po seal." Fang Yuan roared internally. He had already used familiar face to disguise as a sword dragon. He followed the dragon army and got close to the old man. Then, he pretended to be drunk, closed the distance, and suddenly performed the Luo Po seal. The moment the killer move was activated, Fang Yuan was exposed. Luo Po seal had a grand aura, it could not be concealed. The old man's gaze shined like lightning. He did not fear Fang Yuan's Luo Po seal. He charged towards Fang Yuan. Boom, boom, boom. The old man bombarded Fang Yuan indiscriminately, but they were all blocked by Fang Yuan's countercurrent protection seal. Fang Yuan did not make a sound as he withstood the old man's attacks. After much effort, he finally succeeded in brewing the Luo Po seal. The old man was already on guard, but for Fang Yuan, it was even more difficult to grasp the opportunity. Finally, he barely managed to shoot out the Luo Po seal. The strange light brushed past the old man's shoulder and only hit a small part of it. The old man suddenly felt an emptiness in his heart. At the same time, the flame cloak on Verdant Sun's back was weakened by 40% as if it had encountered a gale. This move is powerful, but it still can't break through this old man's Verdant Sun flaming cloak. The mighty old man laughed loudly, and as he retreated, he activated a method to heal himself. His speed was faster than Fang Yuan's, and it was very difficult for Fang Yuan to continuously attack him. The old man had a chance to catch his breath. He was at a disadvantage for the moment, but after a while, most of his injuries healed, his aura returned to its peak. Verdant Sun flaming cloak also started burning again. Luo Po seal had terrifying power, but the old man was very vigilant. He did not give Fang Yuan any more chances. His Verdant Sun flaming cloak had outstanding defense. Fang Yuan finally felt how his former opponent felt when facing countercurrent protection seal. This old man's soul is not his weakness. Even though it was just a graze, Fang Yuan still obtained valuable information. Luo Po seal targeted the enemy's soul, but the old man was an experienced rank 8 GU immortal. He had a deep foundation and no weaknesses. His soul's defense was very tight. Fang Yuan estimated that even if Luo Po seal hit him, it would not be able to kill the old man. There was no way he could kill him in one move. Luo Po seal often needed to be used with Lead Soul into Dream to deal with Celestial Court's rank 8 GU immortals. But at the start of the battle, the old man destroyed Fang Yuan's incomplete immortal GU house. Ying Wuxie and the rest were still trapped in the dream realm. If the incomplete immortal Jiyu house was still intact, with the help of Ying Wuxie's lead soul into dream, Fang Yuan would definitely have the upper hand against the old man. But the old man ambushed and destroyed the incomplete immortal Jiyu house. Not only did Fang Yuan suffer heavy losses, he even lost the initiative and fell into a passive situation, unable to gain the upper hand. This situation was very dangerous for Fang Yuan. He had fallen into an ambush, he had to break out of it as soon as possible. Immortal Killer Move Myriad Dragon. Fang Yuan continued to activate Myriad Dragon. More sword dragons filled the entire formation space. Even though the old man had the upper hand, he did not relax for a moment. His pupils shrunk as Fang Yuan hid among the flood dragons again. At this time, should he use investigative methods to see through Fang Yuan's true body, or should he eliminate these sword dragons first? If Fang Yuan was not eliminated, the sword dragons would be endless. But the old man knew his limits. He thought to himself, I'm afraid my investigative methods cannot see through familiar face. Fang Yuan is crafty, his intentions are not pure. Although the fierce-looking old man had taken the initiative, and his words and demeanor were both brash and boorish, his heart had always been very cautious and calm. He knew that in a battle between experts of Fang Yuan's level, both sides had rich battle experience. Even though he was in the lead and had the initiative because he attacked first, if he made a mistake, Fang Yuan could turn the situation around. The old man roared, with him as the center, flames burned and spread rapidly, forming a sea of fire. The sword dragons melted like wax in the flames. The old man's decision made Fang Yuan feel uncomfortable. Fang Yuan hesitated for a moment before gritting his teeth and continuing with his tactic, controlling the myriad dragons to charge into the formation space. The ones controlling the formation were Central Continent Jiyu Immortals. Seeing the myriad dragons charge, they wanted to retaliate, but at the next moment, the old man transmitted, "Don't move." Fang Yuan has high time path and wisdom path attainment levels. The more the formation moves, the easier it is for him to see through it. I will deal with these loaches, don't be impatient. The old man did not want to give Fang Yuan any chance. The sea of fire burned the sword dragons with shocking power. Fang Yuan snickered as he suddenly appeared in front of the dream realm. Immortal Killer Move, Pure Dream Reality Seeker Transformation. He quickly gathered the dream realm and turned it into a lump, turning it into a pure dream reality seeker physique body. Oh no, this demon is so crafty. The old man's expression changed. Fang Yuan's moves were both real and fake. He was flexible and had many changes. He could not grasp him. Fang Yuan opened his immortal aperture's entrance slightly. He wanted to stuff his time path clone, Ying Wuxie's soul, He Lulan, and Bai Ningbing inside. But at this moment, the old man's furious roar could be heard from behind him. Demon, don't even think about it. Boom. A killer move exploded, creating a loud sound that resembled a tsunami. Fang Yuan's scalp turned numb. Without even turning around, he knew that this was the old man's fiercest attack since the start of the battle. It's too late. Fang Yuan did not have much time. His heart sank to rock bottom. At the crucial moment, he used his full strength. The time path killer move exploded, causing the time around him to speed up. He pulled the immortals into his immortal aperture, but almost at the same time, his back felt like it was punched by a giant. He was sent flying like a cannonball. 15% of reverse flow river was loss. The impact made Fang Yuan's head spin. He coughed out a mouthful of blood. He could only save most of the people. Fairy Miao Yin could not be saved. She was still in a comatose state and was instantly burned by the flames that filled the sky. Not even a trace of ash was left. Fang Yuan roared. He controlled myriad dragons to attack the surroundings while attacking the formation himself. The old man became nervous. He attacked Fang Yuan indiscriminately. Fang Yuan held on with reverse flow protection seal. He ignored the old man and attacked the formation. Fang Yuan, you are dreaming if you want to break this formation. The old man roared. Flames burned Fang Yuan's body. Ha ha ha, this is your final struggle before death. The old man pounced behind Fang Yuan. His palms slammed onto Fang Yuan and sent Fang Yuan flying. Fang Yuan bled from his 7 orifices. He was in a pathetic state, but his gaze was still as cold as ice. He continued to attack this time path formation. It is useless. You still want to break through such a powerful formation? Take a good look at your reverse flow river, it is about to dissipate. The old man mocked, his attacks became more frequent, his killing intent surged crazily. Even though reverse flow protection seal could reflect attacks, the old man also had verdant sun flame cloak. He forcefully endured the reflected attacks, he continued to whittle down reverse flow river. He was not wrong, Fang Yuan's reverse flow river had been through a huge battle, it had already expended a lot of energy. Right now, as he attacked, the river water fell, Fang Yuan's immortal robe became more and more blurry. Suddenly, Fang Yuan roared, he stopped attacking and prepared Luo Po seal. The old man's pupils shrunk, his attacks changed, he was on guard against Luo Po seal. Fang Yuan finished preparing, he waved his hand, but he did not attack the old man, he shot towards the edge of the formation. Ugh! A scream was heard, a rank 7 GU immortal controlling the formation was hit by Luo Po seal and died on the spot. How can this be? All of the central continent GU immortals were shocked. Fang Yuan actually found one of the formation cores in such a short time, he killed the person inside. Luo Po seal had great power against rank 8 GU immortals, not to mention these rank 7 GU immortals. Quick, that formation core is gone, quickly change the formation and fix it. The GU immortal shouted. On the other side, the old man shouted as he attacked Fang Yuan again. Fang Yuan continued to use the extremely weak reverse flow protection seal to block it, at the same time, he attacked the formation. All sorts of methods were used, the time path immortal formation that the Celestial Court spent a lot of effort to set up broke down, it could not stop Fang Yuan from unraveling it. How can this be? Fang Yuan's analysis of the formation shocked everyone. Quick, block that place. Someone shouted in shock. A hole finally appeared in the formation, it connected to the outside world. Fang Yuan laughed heartily, time to go. You can't leave. Flames howled as they turned into a ferocious old man. He used all his might to protect the loophole behind him. The other central continent GU immortals saw this and let out sighs of relief. Fang Yuan shot out like an arrow towards the old man, he said indifferently with overflowing killing intent, "Get out of my way." The old man laughed sinisterly, "It is useless, you cannot do anything to my verdant sun flame cloak." The distance between the two shrunk rapidly. The central continent GU immortals quickly changed the formation, someone shouted, "Block Fang Yuan, we only need 5 breaths of time to change the formation. This is a huge change, it will be 10 times harder for him to deduce and unravel it now." The old man scoffed, "Not to mention 5 breaths of time, even if, His eyes suddenly widened, his expression froze as he looked at Fang Yuan's killer move in disbelief. Fang Yuan's aura was completely restrained, not a trace leaked out. He clasped his palms together in front of his chest. Next, his right hand's fingers touched his left palm, as if he was grabbing something precious, he clenched them into a fist. His left palm stopped at his chest, while his right fist was raised above his head. This move is. The old man no longer had a smile on his face, his eyes revealed nervousness and even a trace of fear. Indeed, it was the immortal killer move, 5-finger fist heart sword. Time passed. The first breath. 1 finger. Fang Yuan's expression was cold as he raised his right thumb. A sword light suddenly shot out from the center of his right fist, which was raised high above his head. Fast. 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 The sword light was unimaginably fast. The moment it was shot out, it hit the old man's forehead. The old man shook fiercely, the verdant sun flame cloak's fire was weakened by half. The second breath. The second finger. The old man reacted and shouted, the verdant sun flame cloak started burning again. But the sword light hit again, the verdant sun flame cloak was weakened again. The third breath. The third finger. The old man's expression turned pale, he almost crushed his teeth. The verdant sun flame cloak expanded like a fireball, it was the size of a carriage earlier, but now it was the size of a house. The old man roared, "This is my verdant sun flame cloak's peak state. Come, you can't break me." The moment he finished speaking, the sword light hit, The verdant sun flame cloak burst like an inflated balloon, returning to its previous state. Five-finger fist heart sword became stronger the further it went. The fourth breath, the fourth finger. The old man resisted with all his might, blocking the fourth sword. His face was pale, he took a big step back. The verdant sun flame cloak was like a candle in the wind, only a thin layer was left. The fifth breath. Fang Yuan sneered. What flame cloak, what a joke. Li Huang, you are putting on mourning clothes for yourself, right? Let's end this. The fifth sword. The old man's body shook, his eyes filled with fear. No, Bo Qing, don't even think of killing me. The flames burned again, and he split into dozens of figures, shooting in all directions. Fang Yuan ignored them. He charged out of the hole and escaped into the river of time. He had just flown out when the time path formation changed completely. The hole from earlier disappeared, it became an inseparable entity once again, firmly sealing the space inside. But Fang Yuan had already escaped. The time path immortal formation was dead silent. The central continent GU immortals controlling the formation were all dumbfounded. The fire clone quietly dissipated, only the old man's main body was left. Right now, his face was pale, anger, fear, shame, hatred, killing intent, and all sorts of other emotions filled his heart. It was like a mess. His expression was twisted into a sinister and terrifying appearance. Suddenly, the old man raised his head and roared. There is no fifth sword. Fang Yuan, you lied to me. Chapter 1647. After a bitter battle of wits and strength, Fang Yuan finally broke through the Celestial Court's ambush and escaped into the river of time. Once he got out of the formation, Fang Yuan felt that it was much harder to maintain reverse flow protection seal. He quickly stopped this move and used the time path killer move Wintercoat. Immortal killer move, familiar face. At the next moment, Fang Yuan turned into an immemorial year beast. Because he was transforming in the river of time, transformation path was also suppressed by the environment. Although he successfully activated this move, the immortal essence expenditure was dozens of times higher than normal. Thankfully, familiar face's core was attitude GU, it only needed to expend mental energy. Thus, on the whole, familiar face did not expend much immortal essence. Fang Yuan could barely endure it. Plop! Fang Yuan turned into an immemorial year snake and dove into the river of time, swimming away quickly. I finally broke out of the encirclement and broke through the time path formation. Fang Yuan rejoiced inwardly. The situation earlier was very dangerous. The longer it dragged on, the tighter the defenses of the Celestial Court, the lower the chances of Fang Yuan surviving. There were two important factors in breaking out of the encirclement this time. Firstly, Fang Yuan used the light of wisdom to break the time path formation with the help of the time path clone. Using the light of wisdom, Fang Yuan's wisdom path attainment far surpassed the imagination of the Celestial Court. He was able to catch them off guard. Secondly, it was five-finger fist heart sword. Fang Yuan's cultivation level reached rank 8, and after obtaining his own white lychee immortal essence, he could use wisdom sword immortal GU. This immortal GU was one of the cores of five-finger fist heart sword. Thus, Fang Yuan could use the fourth sword of five-finger fist heart sword. This was the current limit. To use the fifth sword, Fang Yuan needed other core sword path immortal GU. A lot of rank 8 immortal essence has been expended. Fang Yuan inspected his immortal aperture. The immortal essence storage was already close to the warning line. Even though Fang Yuan's sovereign immortal aperture had a fast time flow and the efficiency of accumulating white lychee immortal essence was very high. But after the consecutive battles, especially the battle just now, when he fought bitterly with the old man Li Huang and broke the Celestial Court's time path formation, he had expended a lot of energy. It's best to retreat first. Under such circumstances, this was the only thought in Fang Yuan's mind. This was the wisest choice. Continuing to fight to the death was absolutely foolish. Fang Yuan, where do you think you're going? A roar came from behind him. Fang Yuan turned around and his heart skipped a beat. Only to see that 3 immortal GU houses chased after him with fierce momentum. The one on the left was the Eternal Arc. It was tall and towering, braving the wind and waves. On the deck, rank 8 GU immortal Qing Yi, rank 7 GU immortals Fu Xuanzi and others were united. They were filled with righteousness. The one in the middle was the 3 autumn yellow crane terrace. Delicate and elegant, the orange eaves were like cranes spreading their wings. The immortal GU house was shrouded in 3 layers of autumn sunlight. It was mystical and extraordinary. The one on the right was the shark flow lever. The lever was snow-white like jade. A rank 8 GU immortal was standing on it. He wore blue star armor and had a rough appearance. There were 7 giant sharks in front of the lever. They had sharp white teeth. They were dragging the lever as they moved rapidly. 3 rank 7 immortal GU houses, at least 3 rank 8 GU immortals. The number of rank 7 experts is unknown. Fang Yuan's heart sank. At this moment, he could feel the determination of the celestial court to kill him. Even though Fang Yuan turned into the immemorial year snake, his speed was not fast enough. Now that the incomplete immortal GU house was destroyed, he could not hide anymore. The distance between the two continued to shrink. The 3 immortal GU houses attacked from afar. Fang Yuan activated Autumn Hair Killer move. It was like he had eyes on his back. He dodged agilely. If he could not dodge, he would use Winter Coat Killer move to block it. Winter Coat Killer move was amplified by the River of Time, as well as Fang Yuan's Time Path Dao marks. It displayed astonishing defensive power. Even though it could not compare to Reverse Flow Protection Seal, it was comparable. This is not good. The situation continued to worsen. Fang Yuan thought of countermeasures. Luo Po Seal took a long time to activate. It would take even longer in the River of Time. Its power would also be reduced. Moreover, the Celestial Court side was definitely on guard. There was little hope of Luo Po Seal changing the situation. Myriad Self, Myriad Dragon, Strength Path Giant Hand, Yama Emperor, and others were the same. Fang Yuan could only rely on time path methods like Spring Scissors and Summer Fan. But the 3 immortal GU houses chasing after Fang Yuan were all sturdy like fortresses. Spring Scissors and Summer Fan could not do anything to them. As they fought, Fang Yuan's immortal essence reserves fell rapidly. The situation was getting more dangerous. The Celestial Court side chased after Fang Yuan all the way. Their morale was high. They were in high spirits. Suddenly, something strange happened on the river in front of them. Huge fountains appeared. Oh no, this is the Sudden Spring River segment. This demon is skilled in luck path. His luck is shocking. He is very hard to kill. As expected, an unforeseen event has occurred here. Follow him. We cannot let him escape. The people of the heavenly court roared, their faces filled with nervousness. Fang Yuan charged into the Sudden Spring River segment. The Sudden Springs were very dangerous. They had the power of time path. If they were larger, they could endanger a rank 8 GU immortal's life. Normally, Fang Yuan would avoid them, but now, the Sudden Spring River segment became his hope of escaping. The immemorial year snake slithered in the river. The sudden springs exploded around Fang Yuan again and again, but they did not cause much disturbance to him. Fang Yuan had Luck Inspection Immortal GU. The sovereign immortal body's Dao marks did not conflict. He could clearly sense that his luck was falling rapidly. Luck Path did not show its power normally, but now, it was showing its profundity. The 3 immortal GU houses on Celestial Court side were having a hard time chasing. The moment they entered the Sudden Spring River segment, Eternal Yacht and 3 Autumn Yellow Crane platform were hit at the same time. They were sent flying by the Sudden Springs. When they finally swooped down, Shark Flow Lever was hit as well. Fang Yuan encountered rank 6 or 7 small and medium-sized Sudden Springs, while the Celestial Court side encountered rank 8 large Sudden Springs. Even though Fang Yuan was being disrupted by the Sudden Springs, the Celestial Court side was like a weak patient climbing a mountain. The difference between the two formed a clear contrast. The Celestial Court's GU immortals had dark expressions. They felt stifled and were about to vomit blood from anger. It seems that this time, Feng Joga is not among the pursuers. Fang Yuan gradually realized. During the Battle of Lang Ya, Fang Yuan had seen Feng Joga's luck. It was very strong, even he could not suppress him. If he was here, the Celestial Court side would not be in such a pathetic state. Along the way, Fang Yuan charged out of the Sudden Spring River segment. Behind him, Shark Flow Lever and 3 Autumn Yellow Crane Platform were already far behind, only Eternal Yacht could barely keep up. It also charged out of the sudden Spring River segment. Without any obstruction, Eternal Yacht's speed rose. It rapidly closed the distance between it and Fang Yuan. I cannot escape like this. Lightning flashed in Fang Yuan's eyes. He made up his mind and suddenly stopped, turning around to fight. Seeing that Fang Yuan did not escape, the GU Immortals on Eternal Yacht were overjoyed, but at the next moment, they showed vigilant expressions. Zun Guozi shouted, "Everyone, be careful, the demon is fighting without retreating, he must have some scheme up his sleeve." The moment she said that, Fang Yuan's killer move was activated. Immortal Killer Move, Time Cutting Edge. This move was only at rank 7 level, but with the amplification of Fang Yuan's time path Dao marks, its power was 100 times greater. At the same time, in the River of Time, it rose to near rank 8 level. At once, the rank 8 GU Immortal Qing Yi felt a fatal threat. His hair stood on end, his heart shrunk as he quickly dodged. But Time Cutting Edge speed was even faster than Five-Finger Fist Heart Sword. Fang Yuan had just sent it out when the Time Cutting Edge had already reached Qing Yi. Eternal Yacht had defenses of course, but Time Cutting Edge was like paper, it easily pierced through. Wasn't this move lost long ago? Why does he know this move? Am I going to die here? At once, Qing Yi's face was filled with shock, he fell into deep despair. Let me. At the crucial moment, Zun Guozi stood up and stood in front of Qing Yi. Ooh! Zun Guozi's body shook intensely, she was hit by Time Cutting Edge, her eyes were wide open as she fell on the deck. Huff huff huff. Qing Yi breathed roughly, his body was covered in cold sweat, he managed to survive. Zun Guozi. Qing Yi's face was pale, he showed a deeply moved expression. The other 3 Xuanzi looked at each other, they had calm expressions. They felt, Zun Guozi sacrificed herself for Qing Yi, in exchange for a huge favor from this rank 8 GU Immortal, it was definitely a huge gain. Lord Qing Yi, don't worry about it. We have unique methods to revive Fourth Sister. Shang Xuanzi smiled, purposely showing his sincerity. However, Qing Yi shook his head slowly and said with an extremely serious expression, I can more or less guess some of the profundities of your methods. I'm afraid your killer moves will be ineffective this time. The 3 Xuanzi were shocked. They asked, Lord, what do you mean? Please explain. This is Bao Clan's killer move, the whole of Central Continent was terrified back then, it is called Time Cutting Edge. Qing Yi said with a complex expression, he could not conceal his lingering fear. What? It was this move. The 3 Xuanzi's expressions changed, their bodies shook as they panicked, they were no longer as calm as before. No, impossible. Isn't this move already lost? Shang Xuanzi shook his head, he did not believe Qing Yi's words. But that is the truth, stop chasing. Qing Yi breathed in deeply, he had a pale expression. Lord. The other rank 7 GU Immortals shouted, Fang Yuan was right in front of them, this was a good chance, killing this demon would be a huge merit. On the contrary, if they let him go, the Immortals would have to bear great responsibility. But Qing Yi had made up his mind. Among the 3 immortal GU houses, Eternal Yacht is the fastest, but its defense is the weakest. You saw it, it cannot resist Fang Yuan's Time Cutting Edge. If we chase, Fang Yuan will only kill us bit by bit, we will be giving Eternal Yacht to him. Also, my immortal aperture is a void aperture, but you have your own accumulations, you cannot nourish this demon. If there were other immortal GU houses besides Eternal Yacht, Qing Yi might continue to chase. However, given the current situation, there was no hope of victory at all if they gave chase. Chapter 1648. Huff. Fang Yuan let out a breath of turbid air as he slowly opened his eyes. This was a small underground cave, the cave walls were burning with eerie fire, forming a natural formation. Even though the defense was not strong, it had a good warning effect. Fang Yuan was ambushed by the Celestial Court in the River of Time, he fought with all his strength and finally managed to carve out a path of blood. After getting rid of Qing Yi and the rest, Fang Yuan followed a tributary of the River of Time and arrived at the outside world, Southern Border. Southern Border was the headquarters of Shadow Sect, Zishan Makoto had once set up such eerie fire caves everywhere. Fang Yuan used fixed immortal travel's killer move, choosing a random one to hide and recuperate. Even though he had reverse flow protection seal, it did not protect him the entire time. He still had to rely on winter coat to protect himself. Not mentioning the intense battle with Li Huang, even while escaping, Fang Yuan had to endure the bombardment of 3 immortal Jiyu houses. His injuries were not light. Fang Yuan inspected his sovereign immortal body and slowly stood up. After recuperating in the small cave for a few days, he had already recovered. The main reason was that the sovereign immortal body's Dao marks did not conflict with each other. This allowed Fang Yuan's healing effect to be astonishing. The rank 8 white lychee immortal essence in his immortal aperture had also increased, but it was still below the warning level. Fang Yuan placed his hands behind his back as he paced around in the small cave. He thought about the situation in front of him, his brows furrowing deeper and deeper. This time, he had suffered a huge setback in the river of time. It was not an exaggeration to describe it as narrowly escaping death. Fang Yuan did not have any lingering fear or rejoice. On the contrary, this situation was within his expectations. The celestial court's strength was too great. Fang Yuan's rise was not even a fraction of the celestial court's history. With such a deep foundation, as long as they exerted a bit of effort, Fang Yuan would not be able to escape unscathed. The battle in the River of Time a few days ago was the best proof. Previously, Fang Yuan had an advantage against the celestial court because he launched a surprise attack, catching the celestial court off guard. The celestial court had no idea where to start. Fang Yuan had been trying his best and seizing every second he had. His strength continued to advance by leaps and bounds, causing the celestial court to make mistakes every time they dealt with him. However, as the celestial court's investigation of Fang Yuan's background became clearer and clearer, it became more and more important. When the time came for a head-on confrontation, Fang Yuan's strength seemed weak. The strength of the heavenly court did not only lie in their own strength and foundation, but most importantly, their unified will. The strength of Southern Border's righteous path was actually very strong. However, the great families had a loose structure, so it was difficult for them to deal with Fang Yuan. The celestial court, however, had been chasing and beating Fang Yuan everywhere. If not for Fang Yuan's craftiness and foresight, any other demonic path Jiyu immortal would have been captured or killed by the celestial court. As time passed, the celestial court's defenses in the River of Time would become stronger, and Fang Yuan's hopes of obtaining Red Lotus true inheritance would become slimmer and slimmer. Against such a colossus, what could Fang Yuan do? My white lychee immortal essence is almost used up. Reverse flow river also only has a bit left. It was used up by Li Huang. It is hard to continue using it. Unlike Danghun Mountain and Luo Po Valley, which had the rank 9 killer move Orderly Order, he could use Landscape as before Gu to recover quickly. Reverse flow river was hard to deal with. Fang Yuan did not lack methods to recover it, but no matter what, it would be a huge and difficult project. It could be foreseen that for a long time in the future, Fang Yuan would not be able to rely on reverse flow protection seal. He lacked reverse flow protection seal, but Fang Yuan's cultivation level had advanced to rank 8, and with Xia Cha's methods, his strength had risen by quite a bit. It's just that this time, I've revealed too many of my methods. Immemorial Year Beast, Spring Scissors, Summer Fan, and other killer moves were all part of Fang Yuan's plan. But Five-Finger Fist Heart Sword and Time Cutting Edge were exposed, which made Fang Yuan feel pity. But there was no other way. In the battle to break out, Fang Yuan had to use all his methods. If he had hidden them, he would have died already. But it is not like I did not gain anything. The details of the Celestial Court were also probed by Fang Yuan. For example, the Celestial Court had a mysterious method that could cause Spring-Autumn Cicada to vibrate. This was out of Fang Yuan's imagination. But now that he thought about it, Fang Yuan understood. He also thought that the time path formation that ambushed him was not targeting him, but Red Lotus True Inheritance. And Spring-Autumn Cicada was the key to Red Lotus True Inheritance. How could the Celestial Court not research Red Lotus True Inheritance from Spring-Autumn Cicada? Although they could not refine Spring-Autumn Cicada, they could still mimic it. Li Huang, Qing Yi. New rank 8 GU immortals appeared. The Celestial Court ruled Central Continent. It could recruit rank 8 GU immortals from the 10 great ancient sects as new members. From time to time, one or two veteran experts would wake up from the immortal graveyard. It had been established since the immemorial antiquity era. No one could say for sure how deep the foundation of the Celestial Court was. Precisely because of this foundation, in the 500 years of Fang Yuan's previous life, the Celestial Court ruled Central Continent, fighting 1 against 4, for a long time. The other 4 regions could not even raise their heads. They even destroyed superclans one after another. Perhaps it was because of this that even after Spectral Soul succeeded in defying heaven, he did not dare to openly attack the Celestial Court. He continued to hide and infiltrate in the dark. And those 3 immortal GU houses? No, the one I destroyed earlier did not have many immortal GU destroyed. Even if it was destroyed, the Celestial Court could refine it. I am afraid I will have to face at least 4 of them in the future, or even more. Even the Celestial Court could not easily take out rank 8 Time Path GU immortals. But Time Path immortal GU houses could be dismantled from other immortal GU houses, or gathered from the GU immortals inventory and assembled. After assembling, the Celestial Court could use a large number of GU immortals of other paths to guard the immortal GU house and seal the entire river of time. Schemes such as luring the tiger away from the mountain or attacking the besiegers by besieging the enemy would not work. The Celestial Court was the #1 grotto heaven in the 5 regions. It had no worries. If Fang Yuan attacked the Celestial Court, not only would he not be able to find the entrance, even if he managed to enter, he would incur the wrath of the Celestial Court and wake up 2 or 3 rank 8 great experts in the immortal graveyard. Fang Yuan's life would be forfeit. If Fang Yuan attacked the 10 great ancient sects, he would not be able to shake the Celestial Court's rule. There would be a huge risk. After all, the Celestial Court had the Wisdom Path great expert, Fairy Myrtle. Fang Yuan's gaze was as cold as ice. He knew clearly, if he wanted to find Red Lotus true inheritance, he would have to fight the Celestial Court head-on. The tighter the defense of the Celestial Court in the River of Time, the more it proved the importance of Red Lotus true inheritance. Fang Yuan's hope of destroying Fate GU lay in this. I need to hurry. The Celestial Court had all sorts of methods. It was likely that they would obtain Red Lotus true inheritance before Fang Yuan. Thus, Fang Yuan had to break through the defenses of the Celestial Court and find the Stone Lotus Island, obtaining the most crucial item left behind by Red Lotus Demon Venerable. As for what it was, Fang Yuan had no idea. The Celestial Court probably did not know either. Guarding the River of Time was the Celestial Court scheme. Because they had the advantage in battle, the Celestial Court did not have to worry about Fang Yuan not attacking. Fate GU was about to be repaired. Fang Yuan had to break through the Celestial Court's defenses and obtain Red Lotus true inheritance to have a chance of destroying Fate. Even if he was injured, even if there was an ambush, even if there was a slim chance of survival, Fang Yuan had to do it. There is no ingenious method or shortcut. I can only let my strength continue to rise, until it surpasses the strength of the Celestial Court. I will break through all obstructions and obtain Red Lotus true inheritance. With this goal achieved, Fang Yuan would have the qualifications to continue contending with the Celestial Court. For the fastest error-free novel reading, please visit Chapter 1649. Inside the Sovereign Immortal Aperture. Mini Western Desert. Everything within a radius of 1,000 miles was snow-white. Fang Yuan's Time Path clone stepped into this place. He grabbed a handful of sand and inspected it carefully. These grains of sand were full and sparkling like ice, giving off a trace of coldness. It was a sunny day now. Mini Western Desert's temperature was not low, but it was cool and comfortable in this desert. Fang Yuan's clone picked up a handful of snowy white sand and placed it in his mouth. When the sand touched his saliva, it melted and gave off a faint salty taste. This was salt sand. In human history, salt sand had a story that had been passed down for a long time. 1,000,000 years ago, during the Olden Antiquity era, even though humans created the Celestial Court, the variant humans of the other 4 regions were still very powerful. They suppressed and enslaved humans. In Western Desert, There was a human city that was being oppressed and ostracized by the variant humans. The variant humans worked together and disguised themselves as bandits, robbing any caravan that was heading towards the human city. As time passed, the human city lacked resources and could not hold on any longer. For the safety of the entire city, the human city lord had to compromise with one of the variant human tribes, marrying off his beloved daughter in exchange for peace. The city lord's beloved daughter knew the big picture. She was willing to sacrifice herself for the safety of the entire city. The marriage was quickly gathered and set off from the city, escorted by the human city lord. When they were traveling in the desert, they met an old man who had fainted. The old man's injuries were severe, he was on the brink of death, his body was covered in abscesses and he stank. The city lord saw that he was a human, he sent his subordinates to save him and feed him water. The old man slowly woke up and thanked the city lord. "Oh city lord, since you saved me, why don't you save me again? Give me your robe and your mount, I can leave on my own." The city lord's subordinates mocked him. The city lord's robe was so precious, how could it be worn by an old beggar like him? The city lord waved his hand. "No matter how precious the robe is, it cannot compare to a person's life. I have a spare robe, I will give it to you now. But my mount can only be ridden by a strong GU master. If I give it to you, it will only harm your life." After saying that, the city lord handed the robe, a large amount of clean water, and dry rations to the old man. Then, the city lord ordered someone to bring over a docile camel and gave it to the old man. The old man sighed with emotion. "City lord, I've heard of your benevolence. Now that I've seen you today, it's indeed true. Since you want to do a good deed, you might as well do it to the end. This abscess on my back has been bothering me for years. As long as a virgin girl born on a yin year, yin month, yin day, personally bites it open for me, it will be healed." As soon as the old man finished speaking, the city lord's subordinates started cursing him. They almost attacked and killed him. The city lord was also angry, because everyone knew that his daughter was a virgin girl born in the yin year, yin month, yin day. The city lord said, "Sir, please don't make fun of me. Although I am the city lord, I am also a pitiful father at this moment. I love my daughter, but I had no choice but to give her to the feather men with ulterior motives and make her their slave concubine. Father, if my sacrifice can be exchanged for the survival of the entire city, I am willing to accept this fate." At this moment, the city lord's daughter walked over. It turned out that the commotion had attracted her attention. From the mouths of the bystanders, she understood what had happened. She walked in front of the old man and nodded. "Sir, please let me take a look at the abscess on your back." "You are willing to treat my injury?" The old man was puzzled. "Yes. Although I am the city lord's daughter and others say that my status is noble, how noble can it be?" The city lord's daughter smiled bitterly. "Only when the entire human race becomes noble will our status truly be noble. I already have no hope and will become a slave concubine of the mutants. If that's the case, why don't I come and treat you? Our human race is too weak, it's good to have one more person recover." When the city lord and the others heard this, they were very touched and did not stop her. The old man revealed the abscess on his back. It was extremely ugly, and the abscess flowed everywhere, giving off a pungent stench. Anyone who saw it would have the urge to vomit. The city lord's daughter was stunned, but in the end, she endured the discomfort and used her teeth to break the abscess on the old man's back. Once the wound was broken, what was left behind was a silver-colored liquid. The juices flowed into the desert, and a rich aroma immediately filled the air, causing the entire wedding procession to feel refreshed. The old man's figure vanished, only his voice was left behind, resounding in everyone's ears. "O city lord, only a person like you is worthy of me saving you. Humans cannot just have GU immortals, they need GU masters like you to have hope. I will leave this desert to you, manage it well." The city lord and the others realized that the old man was a human GU immortal. They quickly knelt down and paid their respects. And this desert, after being contaminated by the silver-colored liquid, turned into snow-white salt sand. The city lord controlled such a huge desert and sold the salt sand as table salt. He did not have to worry about sales. The city was revived and grew stronger day by day. By now, salt sand was no longer a product of Western Desert, it had already spread to the other 4 regions. The salt sand in Fang Yuan's sovereign immortal aperture was obtained after annexing the immortal apertures of southern border GU immortals. After inspecting the area, Fang Yuan's clone had a deep understanding of this desert. He returned in satisfaction. Right now, in jewel yellow skies, Celestial Court has already started to sell silver dragonfish. It seems that they must have obtained the method to raise dragonfish from spectral soul. In time, the golden dragonfish will also enter the market. Fang Yuan's dragonfish business suffered a huge blow. In the short term, because he had already occupied the market share, his dragonfish business had a lot of profits. But in the future, he would definitely be pushed aside by Celestial Court. But it did not matter. After Fang Yuan annexed the deities of Southern Frontier, his sovereign immortal aperture gained more than 10 blessed lands and even a grotto heaven. Forget about the salt sand, it was only an ordinary GU material. But there were many immortal materials, 5 to 6 of them could rival the dragonfish business. For example, Shia Cha Grotto Heaven's year essence pool was one of them. Thus, Fang Yuan was still making huge profits. His accumulation of immortal Yuan stone was several times faster than before. Earlier, he had been working hard, there was almost no shortage in the feeding of immortal GU. Even though he gained some immortal GU as spoils of war, Fang Yuan also obtained the immortal apertures of GU immortals. He could perfectly relocate all the resource points. There are some flaws in the feeding of immortal GU, but it is not a problem. The Time Path clone took one last look at the salt sand before activating fixed immortal travel. This salt sand desert was the second last resource point that he inspected. At the next moment, Fang Yuan's clone arrived at City Well. Inside City Well, there was already a large group of hairy men gathered. These hairy men were mostly captured by Fang Yuan from the immortal apertures of Southern Border GU immortals. Southern Border GU immortals all raised hairy men to refine mortal GU. Hairy man slaves were the most popular type in jewel yellow skies. Fang Yuan gathered these hairy men from the immortal apertures and placed them in City Well. Currently, raising hairy men was the greatest help to Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan imparted some Dream Path GU recipes and cultivation methods to these hairy men. These hairy men's main task was to enter their own dream realms and search for Dream Path GU materials, then refine Dream Path Mortal GU for Fang Yuan to use. Fang Yuan's Unravel Dream Killer move expended a lot of Dream Path Mortal GU. Earlier, when Fang Yuan explored Dream Realms, he had already used up all of the Dream Path Mortal GU that he had. If not for these hairy men refining Dream Path Mortal GU to replenish them, Fang Yuan might not have been able to explore all of the Dream Realms that he had. When Fang Yuan's clone arrived at City Well, the sky was turning dark. Even though there was no sun or moon, it felt like dusk. Ever since Fang Yuan became rank 8, the sovereign blessed land became a grotto heaven. It had astronomical changes. And because the sovereign immortal aperture had abundant time path resources, this astronomical change was very detailed. It was almost the same as the outside world of the 5 regions. Fang Yuan's clone was about to go down to observe the hairy men when his body froze. A bright light flashed in his eyes. My main body has already found the location of the 5 Xiong's seal. Fang Yuan rested in the eerie fire cave for a while before leaving and entering White Heaven. His immortal aperture was in good condition. He did not need to rest. His immortal essence storage was rising slowly. He did not want to waste time. He went to White Heaven. This was the time for the 5 Xiong's seal to open. The 1,000 years bet would begin again. For the fastest and error-free novel reading, visit Chapter 1650. Immemorial White Heaven. In the sky that was originally empty, there was now a tall gate tower. The gatehouse had tall eaves, there were 2 brick carvings on the door, there was a huge plaque on the door with the words 5 Xiong's gambling door written on it. The entire gatehouse seemed to be made of brass. It gave off a majestic aura. Initially, it was only a phantom image, but as time passed, it became more solid and clear. Qi clan had a total of 6 GU immortals. They were all standing outside the gatehouse, waiting for it to turn solid. The leader was an old GU immortal. He was thin but energetic. His eyes were shining brightly, his hands were behind his back was straight like a spear. It was Qi clan's first Supreme Elder, Qi Fa. On his left was the second Supreme Elder of the Qi clan, Qi Cai. He stroked his beard and said, "I've experienced the opening of the seal a few times, but this is the only time I'm impatient. I can't wait any longer." Third Supreme Elder, Qi Jin, smiled. "This bet has been going on for thousands of years, it will finally come to an end today. As Qi clan's descendants, we can proudly worship our ancestors. The final victor of this bet is our Qi clan." As they spoke, the gatehouse turned solid, a large area of clouds gathered, supporting the gatehouse. 5 colored lights flashed on the doorframe, each representing the strength of the 5 Xiong. First, red light shined down, causing the clouds to turn red. But Shui clan, because they cultivated blood path, was completely extinct, no one survived. Thus, after the red light shined for a while, it dissipated. Next, yellow light replaced it. On the other hand, Kaixong's Kai clan had descendants, but they were all living in their ancestors' immortal apertures. They did not think about improving themselves, they were like pigs and dogs in a pen, they naturally did not have any GU immortals. Next, there was a brown light. Ni Xiong Ni clan had GU immortals in the past, even though there were not many, they were all elites. Especially Ni Ren, some people speculated that his refinement path attainment level might have reached quasi-supreme Grandmaster. He was the one who fused many immortal GU with Ni clan's bloodline. This was to leave a legacy for future generations, but now Ni clan's villages were all controlled by Qi clan, they could not make a comeback. After the brown light was a plain white light. "It's our turn." Qi Cai's spirit was suddenly lifted, and he became even more impatient. "Let's go." Qi Fa's tone was firm, he led the 4 GU immortals behind him and landed in front of the gatehouse, bathing in white light. The white light shook slightly as it strengthened rapidly, sweeping through the 5 Qi clan GU immortals before returning to its previous state and continuing to shine. But Qi clan's GU immortals were all here. The descendant of the Qi phase did not increase anymore, and the white light also dissipated. As for the 5 Qi clan GU immortals, there was a white cyclone on their foreheads, they had passed the test of Bai Xiong's seal, they were qualified to enter the 5 Xiong's gambling door. "The last one is the Bai family," Qi Jin said, unable to hide the nervousness in his voice. Qi clan's GU immortals landed on the clouds. Before they entered the gambling door, they were on high alert as they looked around. They knew of Bai Ningbing's existence. Bai Ningbing had inherited Bai Xiong Grotto Heaven, and even cultivated the immortal killer move Bai Xiong. She had a stunning performance in many battles. When Celestial Court exposed Fang Yuan's information, they also took into consideration the Shadow Sect members around Fang Yuan. Even though Bai Ningbing did not truly join the Shadow Sect, her information was still leaked. Even though Qi clan was a secluded clan that did not participate in worldly conflicts, they still paid attention to the outside world's information. The blue light shined for a while, but no one appeared, it weakened and was about to dissipate. Qi Cai let out a breath of air. "All right, Bai Ningbing did not appear after all. This time, my Qi clan will definitely win." He had just said that when he saw 2 figures flying over, they were extremely fast, landing in front of the gatehouse in the blink of an eye. Qi clan's GU immortals looked over, they saw a man and a woman. The woman's silver hair was sparkling like tassels, it reached her waist. She had a pair of light blue vertical dragon pupils that emitted a cold aura. Her skin was white as snow, she had a cold expression, her beauty was breathtaking. What was even more eye-catching was that this female immortal had a pair of small red coral-like dragon horns on her forehead. Seeing this female immortal, Qi clan's GU immortals thought of a name, Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing came after all, this is bad. Then who is the person beside her? Qi Jin first noticed Bai Ningbing, he then turned his gaze to the other GU immortal. This GU immortal was a young man with long hair that reached his waist, but it was black like a waterfall. He had a tall nose bridge and a handsome face, his eyes were dark and deep, they were like the darkness that existed since time immemorial, able to drown the world. Seeing this young GU immortal, Qi Jin felt like he was struck by lightning, his body shook fiercely as his heart turned cold, his throat moved, His voice became hoarse as he said with difficulty, Fang Yuan. His performance was quite good. The Qi clan Gu immortal beside him was already shaking. His legs were shaking and his body was covered in cold sweat. Bai Ningbing and Fang Yuan's relationship was widely acknowledged by the Gu immortals of the 5 regions. If Bai Ningbing appeared to participate in the 5 Xiong's bet, then it was possible that Fang Yuan would come as well. They had already discussed this before the Qi family took action, so everyone was mentally prepared for it. But when Fang Yuan appeared in front of them, they realized that their mental preparations were useless. Fear, panic, hesitation, and other emotions filled their bodies and minds. They felt like they had fallen into an icy cave. This was Fang Yuan. He had spring-autumn cicada. He had been reborn. He refined immortal Gu on 3 Kings Mountain as a mortal. He seized Hu immortal blessed land of central continent's 10 great ancient sects. He went to northern plains and destroyed 88-point Shenyang Tower. Nobody knew how many benefits he obtained. He inherited Thieving Heaven's true inheritance and cooperated with Lang Ya Blessed Land's variant humans. He was a traitor. He disguised as Wu Yihai and deceived Wu Yong. He toyed with the whole of Southern Border's righteous path in the Battle of the Dream Realm. He became the sect leader of Shadow Sect. Southern Border's righteous path chased after him. Celestial Court put him on the wanted list, but he was still at large, getting stronger as he fought. In the regional war, he used rank 7 cultivation level to beat up rank 8 Gu Immortal Thunder Ghost True Monarch, causing Celestial Court to lose its reputation. Lang Ya Blessed Land was invaded by Celestial Court. He snatched fixed immortal travel and left. Several months ago, he ambushed the whole of Southern Border's righteous path. He kidnapped countless Southern Border Gu immortal experts and extorted them from the super forces. Not long ago, Celestial Court released information in Jewel Yellow Skies. Even the battle in the River of Time that no one knew about was exposed. The whole of the 5 regions' Gu immortal world was shaken. Fang Yuan became a rank 8 Gu immortal without anyone knowing. He had killer moves like Spring Scissors, Summer Fan, 5-finger fist heart sword, and the most bizarre thing was, he even learned the long-lost time cutting edge. And Fang Yuan saw that his own information was exposed. He directly exposed the methods of Celestial Court. As the saying goes, it is impolite not to reciprocate. The Gu immortal world was in an uproar. Celestial Court's foundation and methods shocked everyone. But what was even more terrifying was that Fang Yuan still escaped. Celestial Court set up a super time path formation in the River of Time. They had several rank 8s and many immortal Gu houses, but they could not do anything to Fang Yuan. Even though Fang Yuan lost, to put it bluntly, he was like a pathetic dog when escaping for his life. After this battle was exposed, his reputation soared. It was deeply ingrained in everyone's hearts. Not only because of his craftiness and ferocity, but also because his opponent was Celestial Court. Celestial Court was established since the remote antiquity era. It had 3 million years of history. It had suffered multiple invasions by demon venerables but was still standing strong. It had deep foundation. It had been the #1 force of humanity since its establishment, Celestial Court. After such a long time, Celestial Court still could not do anything to a demonic path Gu immortal. This situation was extremely rare. Looking at the entire history of Celestial Court, there were only a handful of such cases. Countless Gu immortals and superforces were watching. They wanted to see when Celestial Court would capture Fang Yuan. How long could Fang Yuan last? Under such a spectating mood, Fang Yuan's reputation soared like the sun in the sky. Fang Yuan, who had rank 7 cultivation level, could resist rank 8. Rank 8 Fang Yuan had already become the king of demonic immortals that shocked the world. He rose up like a comet. His speed was shocking and otherworldly. Right now, this comet had already turned into a blazing sun. It was so bright that many people could not raise their heads to look at it. Demon King Fang Yuan. Qi clan's Gu immortals were shaking even more intensely. Fang Yuan's appearance alone was enough to intimidate these people. Chapter 1651. Everyone, don't panic. Qi Fa spoke. His voice was hoarse and hoarse. His normally straight body was like a bamboo pole in the wind. He was shaking lightly. No one laughed at him. Qi clan had 3 rank 7 GU immortals and 2 rank 6 GU immortals. They were not Fang Yuan's match even if they worked together. In front of Fang Yuan, they were like fish on a chopping board, they could do whatever they wanted to him. After Qi Fa spoke, he mustered his courage and continued, "We are now in front of the gambling door, we have obtained the gatehouse's approval and can explore that grotto heaven, we are also protected by the gatehouse. If Fang Yuan wants to kill us, he will have to get past the gatehouse first. But if he wants to destroy the gatehouse, he will destroy the bet and cannot enter the world on the other side." Qi Fa's words calmed everyone's heart. Fang Yuan could not help but look at Qi Fa, he smiled and praised, "He is quite scheming." Qi Fa's words were directed at Qi clan's GU immortals, they were also advice to Fang Yuan. It was not without reason that Qi clan was able to become the final victor of the 5 Xiong's bet. After so many years, Qi clan had developed to their current state, they suppressed and enslaved the other 4 clans, they did not have much of a reputation, they were very well hidden. Even Southern Border's righteous path did not notice them, at least, they did not try to touch the 5 Xiong's supreme treasures, this showed Qi clan's ability. But no matter how capable they were, against Fang Yuan, they were in a difficult situation. Fang Yuan's smile was even more terrifying in their eyes. He bared his white teeth, like sharp swords and spears that emitted a cold light. Fang Yuan took a look at Qi clan's GU immortals before turning his gaze to Bai Ningbing. The two had already discussed this beforehand. Bai Ningbing nodded at Fang Yuan and flew into the gatehouse. Qi clan's GU immortals were stirred, but they could only watch. As soon as Bai Ningbing entered the light blue icy light, it caused the icy light to waver for a moment before stabilizing. Fang Yuan nodded to himself. He was a little worried about Bai Ningbing's identity as a dragonoid. After all, dragonoids were mutants and not considered orthodox humans. However, from the looks of it, the gatehouse only recognized Bai Ningbing's bloodline and identity. It didn't care whether she was a mutant or a human. After a few deep breaths, Bai Ningbing officially received the approval of the gatehouse. Following an invisible gentle force, she landed on the clouds. Qi clan's GU immortals' gazes flickered with regret. Looks like Bai Ningbing hasn't been enslaved by Fang Yuan. Otherwise, the gatehouse wouldn't have acknowledged her. What a pity, damn it, Bai Ningbing obtained the recognition and can enter the world on the other side of the gatehouse. Ever since Bai Ningbing was under the control of Elder Inkstone, the latter had never tried to enslave her. All their cooperation was in the nature of a transaction. After Bai Ningbing submitted to Fang Yuan, although Fang Yuan had ways to control her, he had never done it. It was precisely because of this gatehouse that he had taken into consideration. Bai Ningbing landed on the clouds. After inspecting it carefully, she turned around and said to Fang Yuan, "As long as I land on this cloud, I will have obtained the gatehouse's approval. Moreover, GU immortals cannot attack each other for now." "Okay." A bright light flashed in Fang Yuan's eyes. His next action caused the Qi clan GU immortals to gasp in shock. Fang Yuan also flew into the light blue light. The light blue light flickered for a moment before stabilizing. Even though Fang Yuan was in his original appearance, he had already activated the Immortal Killer move Familiar Face. He had modified this move and added in Blood Path Immortal GU, allowing him to disguise as a descendant. Back then, he had deceived Wu clan like this, disguising as Wu Yihai and infiltrating Southern Border's righteous path. But before Fang Yuan could feel happy, the other 4 lights flashed on the gatehouse's surface. These 4 lights represented the strength of the other 4 Xiong's. Fang Yuan was slightly stunned. Earlier, he had asked Bai Ningbing to go first because he wanted to trick the light blue light. He flew into the light and deceived the light blue light, but to think that the other 4 Xiong's strength would burst out. Boom! The gatehouse shook, a formless force pushed Fang Yuan out of the light. Even Familiar Face can't deceive him? Fang Yuan's heart sank slightly. Heaven surveying 5 Xiong's. This was a group that had once led Southern Border's GU Immortal World, they displayed their might and strength at this moment. Qi clan's 5 GU Immortals let out a sigh of relief, joy appeared on their faces. Fang Yuan's actions gave them a huge fright, but the final result made them feel gratified. So close, Fang Yuan could not get in. We have hope. This way, Fang Yuan will be left outside, while we only have to deal with Bai Ningbing. Her Bai Xiong killer move is troublesome, but our Qi Xiong true inheritance is not to be trifled with. Fang Yuan looked at this gatehouse with rapt attention. Undeniably, he had underestimated this gatehouse. Or more accurately speaking, Shadow Sect's information and Bai Ningbing's information did not have much information on this gatehouse. To deceive this gatehouse, it was impossible to rely on familiar face alone. Fang Yuan did not want Bai Ningbing to explore alone. Bai Ningbing was not reliable. Even if she was, she could not deal with so many Qi clan GU immortals alone. Even though Fang Yuan suffered a setback, his determination to sneak in did not waver. Qi Xiong, Bai Xiong, Blood Xiong, Mud Xiong, and Food Xiong, these are the heaven-surveying 5 Xiongs. This gatehouse was clearly created by them together. It has the strength of all 5 of them. Fang Yuan fell into rapid thought. Qi Xiong, Bai Xiong, Blood Xiong, Mud Xiong, and Food Xiong corresponded to Qi Path, Ice Path, Blood Path, Earth Path, and Food Path. Blood Path and Earth Path, Fang Yuan had high attainment levels in them. He was very confident. In Food Path, even though his attainment level was not high, Fang Yuan had Spectral Soul's true inheritance. It contained the most authentic Food Path inheritance in the world. With such a foundation, Fang Yuan could be said to be in a strategic position. He had a deep foundation. His Qi Path and Ice Path attainment levels were very low. But his Ice Path cultivation was not a problem. Because Bai Ningbing's Bai Xiong true inheritance had great reference value, Fang Yuan was able to deceive the light blue ice light. So the only obstacle is the power of Qi Xiong. Fang Yuan's eyes shined with a bright light. Fang Yuan's Qi Path attainment level was not high enough. Fang Yuan had little knowledge of Qi Path inheritances. After all, Qi Path had been declining for a long time. But it does not matter, I still have the light of wisdom. Fang Yuan decided to use the light of wisdom to forcefully break through. Qi clan's GU immortals conversed secretly. What is he doing? He seems to be deducing. Didn't the Celestial Court announce that this demon's wisdom path methods are extraordinary? Hehe, it is useless. How can he deduce the arrangements of the 5 Xiongs in such a short time? Qi clan's GU immortals were very confident in this. They had already tried to unravel the power of the 5 Xiongs, but there were no results. Not only did 1 or 2 GU immortals fail, generations of GU immortals had tried but to no avail. They had failed too many times against the power of the 5 Xiong's seal. How could Fang Yuan be able to do it? Maybe Fang Yuan's wisdom path methods are far above us. But if he wants to deduce it now, he is too naive. This is like trying to deduce an unknown immortal killer move for the first time in a battle, trying to deduce and unravel it. He is too naive. Qi Fa shook his head incessantly. It seemed that with his words, the courage in his heart resurfaced, and his timidity gradually dissipated. Boom! At the next moment, Fang Yuan attacked fiercely, attacking the gatehouse. The gatehouse shook intensely. Qi clan's GU immortals' expressions changed. This. The demon attacked. He actually attacked the gatehouse. After destroying this teleportation door, does he not want to go to the other side? Did he fly into a rage out of humiliation after failing to divine? Bam bam bam, as Fang Yuan attacked fiercely, the entire gatehouse shook intensely. Qi clan's GU immortals also shook intensely. They could not stand steadily, they were like candles in the wind. Their faces were also filled with shock and fear, and some of them even began to tremble. Once the gatehouse was destroyed, they would have no protection. They would be captured by Fang Yuan. It would depend on Fang Yuan's mood. You must persevere. Qi clan's GU immortals prayed madly in their hearts. Fang Yuan's attacks gradually stopped. Qi clan's GU immortals breathed roughly. Their clothes were drenched in cold sweat. The feeling of their lives hanging by a thread was too terrible. They had never been so nervous before. But in the end, the gatehouse did not fall. The demon did not succeed. This is great. Qi Jin cheered. The other Qi clan GU immortals were overjoyed. They had excited expressions. Fang Yuan looked at them as he showed a mocking smile. Oh? Why do you think I stopped? Saying so, He activated an indescribable immortal killer move. There was no light or shadow, it was plain, but his aura suddenly underwent an extremely profound change. Next, Fang Yuan slowly descended, bathed in the blue light. He easily obtained the gatehouse's acknowledgement and landed beside Bai Ningbing. Qi Clan's GU immortals were all dumbfounded, some even had their mouths wide open, they were motionless like statues. Their faces were filled with shock, some unbreakable beliefs in their hearts were crumbling with Fang Yuan's success. This demon actually did it. This must be a dream. How can this be? How did he succeed in such a short time? Qi Clan's GU immortals were extremely puzzled, a deep chill swept through their bodies and minds. Fang Yuan's battle strength was already ridiculous, now that he displayed wisdom path attainment, it was beyond the limits of Qi Clan's GU immortals' knowledge. No wonder the Celestial Court could not do anything to such a monster. And how could they deal with him? Gatehouse. Oh ancestor. This Fang Yuan is an outsider, he cheated. Qi Cai shouted angrily, his expression was filled with fear as well as sadness and anger. But the gatehouse was silent, the power of the Five Xiong seal had stopped. Soon, an intense aura rose from the gatehouse, 5 colored lights shined brightly again. Qi Clan's GU immortals saw this and showed expressions of despair. Because they knew that the gatehouse's change was not because it had exposed Fang Yuan's identity, it was about to teleport away. If you like this novel, you are welcome to vote for it at Start Point. Your support is my greatest motivation. For mobile users, please go to M. For the fastest novel reading, please visit Chapter 1652. The dazzling radiance gradually dissipated. Fang Yuan took a look, his surroundings had changed, he was teleported to a small world by the gatehouse. Bai Ningbing was beside him, maintaining the distance from Fang Yuan before the teleportation. Suddenly, Bai Ningbing's expression changed, a mysterious message was transmitted to her mind. She looked at Fang Yuan, seeing that he was unmoved, she hesitated for a moment before saying, "This is a public grotto heaven. The heaven surveying 5 Xiong's had once donated a portion of their immortal apertures to create it. The entire grotto heaven is split into 5 parts, the regions cannot be moved between, only the central mountain range is the same. That treasure of the bet is at the center of the grotto heaven, as long as the gatehouse acknowledges it, the GU immortals who are teleported here can try to get it. Along the way, there are some resources that the heaven surveying 5 Xiong's left here, if you have enough strength, you can take them for yourself, but I suggest you not to dig up the roots and kill the goose that lays the golden eggs." Bai Ningbing received this mysterious message, but Fang Yuan did not. "It seems that even though I used the light of wisdom to deduce a killer move and disguise myself, it is still too crude. But it is still too crude." Fang Yuan had a deep gaze as he looked afar. "This means that we are very far from Qi Clan's GU immortals, and we cannot move between the regions. Even if I disguise as Bai Xiong's descendant, I can only move around in this Bai Xiong grotto heaven." Fang Yuan wanted to test fixed immortal travel, but he did not know what Qi Xiong's region looked like. He had once killed Qi Clan's GU immortal Qi Zai, but this person was one of the GU immortals who advanced in the last 1,000 years. He had never been here, so he did not have any memories of this place. "According to my experience of undoing the seals on the gatehouse, there should be a strong and tight defense here, there should be no space path or other methods. Even if I use fixed immortal travel, there is little chance of me getting out." Fang Yuan assessed the situation. Soon, he made a decision. "Let's go to the center." The entire public grotto heaven's 5 regions all led to the central mountain range, and the treasure of the bet was hidden in the mountain range. Since that was the case, Fang Yuan went straight for it. He did not need to search for Qi Clan's GU immortals. Putting aside the fact that it was a waste of time and energy, they might not even be able to find it. As long as he reached the mountain range, he would be able to see Qi Clan's GU immortals. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing flew together, crossing mountains and ridges along the way. Bai Xiong cultivated the ice and snow Dao. This place was a part of Bai Xiong grotto heaven, so even though there were tall mountains and precipitous ridges, they were all covered in thick white snow. "Look over there," Bai Ningbing suddenly said. Her gaze was fixed on a mountain peak. This mountain peak was extremely steep, and at the peak of the mountain, there were hundreds of ice mirror snow lotuses. This was a rank 6 immortal material that contained ice path and wood path Dao marks. There were many snow monsters around the snow lotus. There were many desolate level snow monsters. Once someone barged into this place and had designs on the ice mirroring snow lotus, these snow monsters would step in to stop them. In fact, Fang Yuan had already noticed it. He glanced at it indifferently before flying past with Bai Ning Bing. Even though these desolate level snow monsters were not Fang Yuan's match, Fang Yuan did not want to waste time here. He went straight to the center of the public grotto heaven. Ice mirroring snow lotus, 100-year profound ice, 1000-year profound ice, wide frost water, heaven craft divine jade. Along the way, Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing saw many resource points. Even though they were small to mid-sized resource points, they were very abundant. The deeper they went, the more resources there were in the grotto heaven, the more valuable they were. Of course, the beasts and trees guarding the resource points were also getting stronger. This was clearly the arrangement of the 5 Xiong. They wanted to test their descendants. Even though Fang Yuan could sweep through everything with his strength, he ignored these benefits. He only wanted to go to the central mountain range. Howl! A beast group roared as they flew out of the valley, charging towards Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing. These were jade frost antelopes. Some were as big as palaces, some were as small as 2 or 3 houses. The antelope's eyes were jade green, they had no pupils. The antelope's horns were curved upwards, one segment at a time. Even though the antelopes had no wings, they could move forward by jumping in the air. Every time they jumped, their hooves would emit a trace of white frost chi, producing the sound of wind chimes. This group of jade frost antelopes was very strange. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing's expressions changed slightly. Fang Yuan snorted coldly, he stretched out his hand, a fan appeared out of thin air and was grabbed by him. Immortal killer move, Summer Fan. Boom! Summer Fan whipped up a tornado. The tornado was only the surface, it was the true power of Time Path. The aggressive antelope group was immediately engulfed by the intense wind, they were instantly cleared. Corpses fell from the sky like dumplings, crashing on the ground with loud sounds. In an instant, this large group of jade frost antelopes died. Not just that, the snowy peak below was also destroyed by Fang Yuan's fan, forming a huge pile of rocks over 100 li. Fang Yuan, however, shot down like lightning. With a loud sound, rocks flew everywhere. He looked at a huge rock wall, sensing the aura on it, his expression was colder than ice. This was a GU formation that Fang Yuan had already destroyed, it had a clear chi path style. It seems that the rule of not moving between the 5 regions cannot restrict Qi Clan's GU immortals. Fang Yuan said to Bai Ningbing, who was flying down. Bai Ningbing nodded. This is understandable, after so many years, Qi Clan has entered this place many times, they have a deeper understanding of this place. Many of the 5 Xiong's arrangements cannot restrict them anymore. From the looks of it, the rest of our journey won't be smooth sailing. Fang Yuan smiled coldly. Qi Clan's GU immortals are trying to stop us, they are definitely stalling for time so that they can snatch the treasure. In that case, we should not stay any longer, let's set off. The 2 of them continued to fly, and as Bai Ningbing had expected, they were intercepted by many beasts along the way. But these beast groups crumbled under Fang Yuan's attacks, they were barely able to stall for time. Fang Yuan's methods are so terrifying. The small beast tide that we caused is like paper. No, it's as easy as blowing off dust for him to get rid of them. It's really too terrifying. They are here, they are close to the central mountain range. Don't panic, there is still a defensive line in the mountain range, there is an immemorial desolate beast there. The defensive line is broken, Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing are already here. Qi Clan's GU immortals conversed, the atmosphere was getting tenser. When Fang Yuan arrived, the Qi Clan GU immortals' hair stood on end, the atmosphere was so intense that it was almost solid. The location of the treasure was very obvious. When Fang Yuan flew into the central mountain range, he saw it from afar. At the highest peak, there was a palace, it had the same style as the gatehouse. This was an immortal GU house. Fang Yuan successfully entered the immortal Jiyu house. He saw that at the center of the hall, Qi clan's 5 Jiyu immortals were sitting around the treasure. Then, his eyes were firmly glued to the treasure of the bet. This mysterious treasure was actually a white crane. This white crane only had one leg, its feathers were pure white like snow, it was untainted by even a speck of dust. Its beak was red, its wings were folded and its eyes were tightly shut. Fang Yuan's brows quickly furrowed, he discovered the peculiarity of the white crane. It was not a true life form, it was not an immortal Jiyu, but it was giving off rank 9 aura. Amazing. Fang Yuan laughed heartily. So the treasure of the 1,000 years bet is a rank 9 killer move. Fang Yuan's laughter made the Qi clan Jiyu immortals' bodies shake. While they were fearful, they also felt anger. The 5 Xiong's bet, Qi clan's treasure that they had painstakingly hidden, was actually coveted by an outsider. He was trying to get his hands on it. The Qi family had already regarded the treasure as their own. Fang Yuan wanted it. This was a huge grudge. Qi clan's Jiyu immortals and Fang Yuan were irreconcilable enemies. Fang Yuan's gaze was cold, he did not say anything, he pointed with his finger as a sword light shot out, attacking the Qi clan Jiyu immortals. The 5 Qi clan Jiyu immortals were instilling their wills into the white crane immortal killer move. They did not move, allowing the sword light to attack them. At the critical moment, a 5-colored radiance suddenly rose in the hall and quietly melted the sword light. As expected, Fang Yuan was not surprised. This hall could gather the strength of the entire public grotto heaven. It was also the strongest part of the heaven surveying 5 Xiong's seal. With such a force supervising it, Fang Yuan and Qi clan's Jiyu immortals could not attack each other for now. Of course, Fang Yuan could attack them forcefully, but he would need to suppress the heaven surveying 5 Xiong's. He would also cause huge damage to the entire public grotto heaven. No wonder Qi clan's Jiyu immortals are not moving. But since they have the qualifications to refine this killer move treasure, so can I. Bai Ningbing thought to herself as she got closer to the killer move. Next, she imitated the 5 Qi clan Jiyu immortals and instilled her will into it. The 5 Qi clan Jiyu immortals showed anxious expressions. Bai Ningbing's body shook, her expression changed, she quickly called out to Fang Yuan, "Come quickly." Even without her reminder, Fang Yuan had already arrived beside her. He instilled his will into the immortal killer move and understood the situation. At the same time, a message from thieving heaven demon Venerable entered his mind. "Oh later, I am Ben Jie's son, you call me thieving heaven demon Venerable. When I was exploring immemorial white heaven, I found a mystical existence by chance. It was like the heavenly spirit of a grotto heaven. It was extremely sensitive. I spent a lot of effort to capture it alive. After researching it, I found it to be even more mystical. It seems to be related to the deepest secret of this world. It resonates with the second half of the legends of Ren Zhu. I called it the natural heavenly spirit for now. It could not be brought out of immemorial white heaven, nor could it be kept in my grotto heaven. It is filled with providence, it can be replenished at any time. Even I cannot refine it with my own will. I thought about it and found a way to forcefully refine it into an immortal killer move. I named it Heaven Form. If you like this work, you are welcome to vote for it or vote for it. Your support is my greatest motivation. For mobile users, please read it at M. For the fastest error-free novel reading, please visit Chapter 1653. Heaven Form. Fang Yuan was shocked, but also realized. He understood everything now. Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable was an otherworldly demon. He was skilled in Space Path and created Theft Path. He also had great talent in Refinement Path. He spent his entire life trying to leave the Jiyu Master World and return to his homeland. He was the wealthiest Venerable. He collected immortal materials from all over the world and refined immortal Jiyu. He traveled to many places. His footprints were all over the 5 regions and 2 heavens. One time, when he was traveling in White Heaven, he accidentally found a mystical existence. After researching it, he named it the Natural Heavenly Spirit. Even though he had the strength of a demon Venerable, he could not refine this natural heavenly spirit. This was not hard to understand. According to the information left behind by thieving heaven demon Venerable, this natural heavenly spirit could not be brought out of white heaven, and in white heaven, it was constantly being replenished by providence. When GU immortals refined immortal GU, the essence was to use their own will to get rid of the wild will in the immortal GU and refine the immortal GU into their own tools. Thieving heaven demon Venerable wanted to refine the natural heavenly spirit. Even though the method was complicated, the essence was the same. Even though the demon Venerable's will was strong, against the natural heavenly spirit's providence, which was constantly being replenished by providence, he could not win. Thieving heaven demon Venerable suffered a setback, but he was not discouraged. Man was the spirit of all living beings. He thought of a way to combine the natural heavenly spirit with other GU worms to form a rank 9 immortal killer move. This made Fang Yuan think of his ghostly concealment killer move. It was also a rank 9 killer move. It was paired with divine concealment. Even though a long time had passed since thieving heaven demon Venerable used it, these two moves still existed. This seemed to be thieving heaven demon Venerable's style. The problem was, even if thieving heaven demon Venerable thought of a way to turn the natural heavenly spirit into a rank 9 immortal killer move heaven form, he could not manipulate or use it. Because he had not truly refined the natural heavenly spirit yet. But this was all within thieving heaven demon Venerable's plan. He knew that he could not refine the natural heavenly spirit in a short period of time, so he thought of this method to turn the natural heavenly spirit into the immortal killer move heaven form. This way, the natural heavenly spirit would receive less replenishment from providence. After thieving heaven demon Venerable created heaven form, he did not use it anymore. Before he mysteriously disappeared, he left behind many thieving heaven true inheritances. He did not forget heaven form. Heaven form has not been truly refined yet. I can't do it alone. It needs a long time and generations of wills to cleanse it. One day, it would be truly refined by a GU immortal. At that time, it will be used by one person. Thieving heaven demon Venerable's message also said that even though this killer move was left behind by him, because he could not control it, it was not counted as part of thieving heaven's true inheritance. It needed the efforts of future generations. It was at most half a thieving heaven true inheritance. Fang Yuan could completely speculate what would happen after that. One day, when the heaven surveying 5 Xiong's explored immemorial white heaven, they unexpectedly found this half of thieving heaven's true inheritance. Thieving heaven demon Venerable's message was very clear. This was a rank 9 killer move that could only be used by one person. All of the 5 Xiong's wanted it. They could not agree to it. Internal strife ensued. The 5 Xiong's only existed in name. The 5 Xiong's took action. They found that they could not refine this killer move with just the 5 of them. Thus, the 5 Xiong's made a 1,000-year bet. They decided to use a dual method to compete for the ownership of the immortal killer move. The river of time was turbulent. The wind and rain of time had destroyed many of its currents. Amidst the vicissitudes of time, the 5 Xiong's died. Generations of GU immortals from the 5 clans appeared and disappeared. But now, Qi clan obtained a decisive advantage. After countless generations of hard work, the immortal killer move was finally about to succeed. Fang Yuan interfered. One could imagine how angry and hateful Qi clan's GU immortals were. Since our ancestors, so many generations of hard work, we poured our blood and sweat into it. It was about to bear fruit, but you came to take it. How shameless. Too shameless, too despicable. It was these emotions that caused Qi clan's GU immortals to oppose Fang Yuan to a large extent. Fang Yuan was only a rank 8 GU immortal. They believed that as long as they obtained the rank 9 killer move, they would be able to defeat Fang Yuan. At the very least, they would have the strength to make Fang Yuan wary. They would have the right to negotiate. Fang Yuan came to Bai Ningbing's side. He instilled his will into Bai Xiong killer move. Bai Xiong killer move also had a will of providence. It was stubborn and unyielding. It was like an extremely sturdy fortress that occupied the high ground. And below Providence Fortress, there were countless wills. This was a sea of wills. The 1,000-year bet had been carried out again and again. A large number of GU immortals had left their wills here. The experts were like the 5 Xiong's. They were all rank 8 GU immortals. There were also rank 7 elites, like Ni clan's GU immortal Ni Ren. It was not strange to have such an accumulation. But what made Fang Yuan surprised was that these wills were unmoved, they were silent like rocks, they did not move at all. Only these wills that had just entered were like swimming dragons or rivers, they fought and fought against each other above the sea of wills. 3 of Qi Clan's 5 Gu Immortals' wills were fighting by Ningbing's will. The remaining 2 were attacking Providence Fortress at the highest point. That is the core of Heaven Form. As long as anyone refines that place, they will become the owner of Heaven Form. Demon Fang Yuan's will has also entered. Persevere, we cannot relax, we are about to succeed. This is the result of our Qi Clan's years of hard work. For this moment, we have sacrificed too much. We cannot let this outsider Fang Yuan succeed. Qi Clan's Gu Immortals conversed and encouraged each other, their morale reached its peak. Actually, they had no choice. Fang Yuan's ruthless nature was well known. If they did not refine this rank 9 killer move, their outcome would be terrible. Without any hesitation, Fang Yuan's will charged forward. His will condensed into one, it was like a soaring dragon or a surging river. The 3 Qi Clan Gu Immortals' wills worked well together, but they could not resist Fang Yuan's fierce attacks, they were forced to retreat. They were only Qi Path Gu Immortals after all, while Fang Yuan had a huge advantage in this aspect. Persevere, no matter what price we have to pay, we need to stall for time. Quickly attack and take down the core. As long as we obtain this move, we might be able to kill this Demon King and destroy him. Maybe we can even obtain a large number of Gu Venerable true inheritances. Even if we can't stop him, we have to exhaust his willpower so that he can't take down the Fortress of Heaven's will at the top. If you like this work, you are welcome to vote for me at Chidian. Your support is my greatest motivation. Mobile users, please read it at M. For the fastest error-free novel reading, please visit Chapter 1654. Qi Clan's Gu Immortals were united, they were anxious and fearful, but they mustered their courage and fought desperately against Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan frowned, he found that his will could not be poured in endlessly, once it reached a certain limit, it could not be poured in anymore. Furthermore, after his will was poured in, the main body could only watch from the side, the will could fight independently. Thus, a vast number of wisdom path methods were useless here. Heaven Form was rank 9, Fang Yuan's wisdom path methods were rank 8 at most. Even if Heaven Form posed a threat, Fang Yuan did not want to use it. Because if Heaven Form's counterattack was triggered, it would be terrible. Even if it did not counterattack, if Heaven Form was destroyed, his greatest gain would be gone. Qi Clan's Gu Immortals needed Heaven Form to deal with Fang Yuan and protect themselves. Fang Yuan also wanted Heaven Form, because he needed a huge increase in strength to overcome the obstacle of Celestial Court in the River of Time. Thus, the two sides could only fight using the most basic method of wills. In this aspect, Fang Yuan had a solid foundation. Long ago, after he suffered a huge loss from Mo Yaro's fake will, he trained hard. Not only did he make up for this weakness, it became his advantage now. Qi Clan's Gu Immortals were not Fang Yuan's match, but they had the advantage in numbers, they had more wills, while Fang Yuan only had Bai Ningbing to help him. As time passed, Fang Yuan's advantage grew, but he could not turn it into a victory. The Qi Clan Gu Immortals who obstructed him attacked relentlessly, they were putting in a lot of effort. In fact, Fang Yuan had another worry, that was Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing had betrayed him once, she was an uncertain factor. But thankfully, the highest layer of Providence Fortress was very sturdy, it did not shake no matter how Qi Clan's Gu Immortals attacked it. Fang Yuan's thoughts became heavy, at this rate, even if he broke through the obstruction and destroyed Qi Clan's will here, he would be at the end of his rope, he would not be able to deal with Heaven's will at the center. After another clash, Qi Clan's wills were pushed back, Fang Yuan's will was like a dragon, it coiled and wrapped around Qi Clan's wills. Qi Clan's wills were shocked, if Fang Yuan destroyed their wills, their situation would worsen, they would not be able to stop Fang Yuan from breaking through. Thus, the scattered wills gathered again and charged at Fang Yuan. Bai Ningbing, stop them. Fang Yuan ordered. Bai Ningbing's will was like a wall made of ice, it pierced in diagonally, but in order to block Qi Clan's will, it suddenly turned around and attacked Fang Yuan. Qi Clan wills were shocked. At the crucial moment, Bai Ningbing actually betrayed them. Fang Yuan's will was caught off guard by Bai Ningbing's attack. He was furious. Qi Clan's wills observed and became happy. They attacked Fang Yuan from one direction. Fang Yuan's will weakened rapidly. He had to spit out Qi Clan's wills that he had devoured. Bai Ningbing, you traitor, I will not forgive you. Fang Yuan's will roared, but he was already defeated. He could only lead his troops and escape downwards. Fang Yuan, with your personality, after obtaining heaven form, do you think you will not target me? I am Bai Xiong's descendant. Heaven form is my fortuitous encounter. Ha ha ha. Bai Ningbing's will laughed wildly. This is such a good chance. If I defeat you here, I will shine brightly for the rest of my life. Bai Ningbing's will did not want to let Fang Yuan's will go. She chased after it. Fang Yuan's will had no choice but to escape. What are you looking at? Come and help. Bai Ningbing's will shouted at Qi Clan's will. Qi Clan's wills were also very weak. Qi Fa's will thought for a while before shouting, don't move, it might be a trap, let them fight each other. Fang Yuan's will was counterattacked by Bai Ningbing. It was too pitiful. The scale was far smaller than Bai Ningbing's will. In the end, he was surrounded by her will. He could not escape. The more he fought, the lesser he was until he was completely destroyed. To think that this time, the demon Fang Yuan would be the first to lose. Guarding day and night, it is hard to guard against a thief in one's own home. Ha ha ha, this is the time for our Qi Clan to rise up. It is a heaven-sent chance. Let's go, we cannot leave Bai Ningbing's will alive. Qi Clan's wills attacked again. Bai Ningbing's will resisted tenaciously, but she was outnumbered. She was completely destroyed in the end. We succeeded. Heaven form is ours. Qi Clan's wills were immersed in joy. With no enemies around, their wills gathered together and attacked Providence Fortress. Boom! Suddenly, the fortress of Heavenly Will exploded, and a large amount of Heavenly Will surged out like a wild beast released from its shackles, pouncing on the Qi Clan's will. All along, this final Providence had been defending passively. Qi Clan's wills were numb. They forgot that it could move freely. Providence Fortress retaliated. Qi Clan's wills were caught off guard. They suffered huge losses. How can there be so much Providence Fortress? This is impossible. Providence Fortress is too crafty. It actually showed weakness to the enemy. I cannot accept this. Quickly hold on. We cannot lose. Qi Clan's GU immortals were united. They went all out. From resisting with difficulty, they gradually stabilized their footing and turned the situation around. Eventually, they gained the upper hand. Heaven's will was almost exhausted. The core was exposed. It was waiting for a new owner. We finally won. A moment later, Qi Clan's wills almost cried tears of joy. Only a small portion of them were left, while Providence Fortress was almost completely wiped out. That might not be the case. Suddenly, Fang Yuan's will surged in again. Qi Clan's wills were stunned. They started to scream. Weren't you destroyed? This is impossible. You have already used up your portion. Normally, you can only use your will again after 1,000 years. Did you unravel this rank 9 killer move? No, impossible. This is a rank 9 killer move. It originates from thieving heaven demon Venerable. Fang Yuan's will smiled mockingly. He did not explain. He pounced on it. Qi Clan's wills were like rabbits. Fang Yuan's will pounced on them like a hungry tiger. They could not resist and were easily destroyed. Next, Fang Yuan's will replaced Providence Fortress, occupying the core. He had become the final victor. Opening his eyes, Fang Yuan saw the 5 Qi Clan GU immortals fleeing in panic. Fang Yuan did not stop them. This immortal GU house and the public blessed land were arrangements left behind by the 5 Xiong's. If he attacked, the 5 Xiong's seal would stop him. Bai Ningbing stood beside Fang Yuan. She did not move. She did not have any intention of escaping. It turned out that everything earlier was Fang Yuan's scheme. He purposely arranged for Bai Ningbing to betray them, to put on a show. He did not want to deceive Qi Clan's GU immortals. He wanted to deceive Providence. Fang Yuan's experience in dealing with Providence was far greater than Qi Clan's GU immortals. He deduced that Providence's battle strength was very strong. Even if he defeated the Qi clan Gu immortals' wills, he would not be Providence's match. Thus, he purposely retreated, secretly withdrawing a portion of his will. Of course, Bai Ningbing's will was truly destroyed. The advantage of this was that other than deceiving Qi clan's wills, at the crucial moment, Fang Yuan could get rid of this unstable factor. Qi clan's Gu immortals' wills were already weakened by Fang Yuan, they were in a weakened state, they also had huge pressure, they could not see through Fang Yuan's scheme. This was very difficult. Because if the wills thought on their own, they would expend themselves. The less wills they had, the less ability they could think. At the same time, Qi clan's Gu immortals' wills had to preserve themselves to deal with Providence. The final result was as Fang Yuan expected, he became the final winner. Heaven form was under Fang Yuan's control, but at this moment, he did not go forward to inspect it, he looked at Bai Ningbing with deep meaning. Bai Ningbing, are you really not going to escape? Fang Yuan's eyes shined with killing intent. Bai Ningbing's value had been squeezed dry, she was not like the other Shadow Sect members, she was not under Fang Yuan's control. Since Fang Yuan obtained heaven form, it was time to deal with this problem. The atmosphere became tense, Fang Yuan's killing intent became stronger. The battle between the two sides was about to begin. Evidently, the current Fang Yuan was not someone Bai Ningbing could resist. Even though the killer move by Xiong was extraordinary and had once terrorized the whole of Southern Border's Gu immortal world, Bai Ningbing's cultivation level was too low, her foundation was far from Fang Yuan's. If they fought, Bai Ningbing would die for sure. Chapter 1655. Facing Fang Yuan's solid killing intent, Bai Ningbing smiled, she looked at Fang Yuan calmly, asking, "Why should I escape?" After pausing for a while, she said, "Qi clan's Gu immortals escaped because they do not know you well. We are both from Qing Marrow Mountain, with my understanding of you, how can they escape?" He, since I cannot escape, why should I escape? Not only will I not run, on the contrary, I will join Shadow Sect. Fang Yuan frowned, I had thought of that too, but your Bai Xiong killer move is too profound, it can break almost all alliance agreements. Bai Xiong's specialty was that it could turn Gu immortals into a special existence, any fragment could be reborn. The essence of alliance agreements were faith path Dao marks. Bai Ningbing used Bai Xiong's self-mutilation to get rid of the corresponding faith path Dao marks and get rid of the alliance agreement. Thus, Bai Xiong killer move could also be used to heal injuries and get rid of the remaining Dao marks on the body. Indeed. Facing Fang Yuan's wariness, Bai Ningbing laughed heartily, she was not worried about her own safety. But because of this, isn't it even more exciting? Fang Yuan snorted coldly, saying in displeasure, "Don't treat me like you, Bai Ningbing." Bai Ningbing nodded, she stopped smiling as her dragon eyes shined with bright light. "That's right, I have always been pursuing excitement. That is why I envy you, Fang Yuan. The life you lead is really too exciting, too wonderful. Every time you plot, every time you succeed, and even every time you fail, it is extremely exciting. Especially the most recent time, you were ambushed by the Celestial Court and escaped like a dog, haha, it was the most exciting time. The other members of Shadow Sect cannot understand my feelings. Some of them want to save Spectral Soul, some are afraid, some are depressed due to pressure. But my feelings are excitement and joy. The more turbulent it is, the more exciting it is, isn't that so? Others might not understand me, but I know you do, don't you?" Bai Ningbing stared into Fang Yuan's eyes, and her eyes lit up. Fang Yuan remained silent. Back on Qing Marrow Mountain, he had already determined that Bai Ningbing was a true demon. His judgment was not wrong, Bai Ningbing was exactly like that. In order to pursue a wonderful life, she could give up everything, even her own life. The values of the public, the complicated love and hatred, had nothing to do with her. She was different from the masses. She did not fit in with the world. She only followed her own path. Indulging the feelings in one's heart, disregarding the life and death of all living things. To put it bluntly, Bai Ningbing and Fang Yuan were very similar. They were the same type of people, but they pursued different things. In pursuit of immortality, Fang Yuan was willing to sacrifice anything, including himself. Even if he didn't succeed in the end and died halfway, he would still be happy and gratified. Because this kind of goal and this kind of way of living made him feel that his life was full of exuberant interest and vitality. Bai Ningbing said that Fang Yuan understood her. This was definitely not wrong, just like how she understood Fang Yuan. As the saying goes, heroes appreciate each other. Demons naturally had the same feeling. The killing intent in Fang Yuan's eyes slowly dissipated. This layer of killing intent was purposely condensed by him. In truth, he did not have much killing intent in his heart. Why did he want to kill Bai Ningbing? The current Fang Yuan's strength far surpassed Bai Ningbing. The latter was no longer a threat to Fang Yuan. Sometimes, when he saw Bai Ningbing, Fang Yuan felt like he was seeing his own shadow. True demons like them were too rare. Meeting one was actually a kind of fortune, a kind of gratification to witness oneself. Because they were the most similar to each other, this was a kind of similarity, or rather, recognition. So that year, when Bai Ningbing sacrificed her life to save Fang Yuan, she said those words, to let Fang Yuan live on for her, to witness the wonders of life. In essence, Bai Ningbing felt that Fang Yuan could replace her to a certain extent. Sometimes, Fang Yuan also thought, if he and Bai Ningbing exchanged identities, would he make the same choice as Bai Ningbing? Ha ha ha. Bai Ningbing suddenly raised her head and laughed. I can give you all the resources in Bai Xiong Grotto Heaven. But I want to keep the Gu worms in Bai Xiong's true inheritance with me. The reason I was willing to join Shadow Sect is because the battle with the Celestial Court was indeed exciting. This was originally your excitement, but it will also be my excitement. In this case, there are 3 possibilities. Bai Ningbing squinted her eyes. Excitement and even a trace of madness could be seen in her eyes. First possibility, you will be killed by the Celestial Court. With your strength, even if you are killed, it will be a wonderful death. You will shine with unprecedented brilliance during your final struggle. I will witness your death. It will be an extremely rare and wonderful experience in my life. Second possibility, Celestial Court will be defeated by you, or even destroyed. Ha ha ha. That will also be very exciting. The fall of Celestial Court, the number 1 force of humanity, such a giant will be like a meteor falling to the ground, the dazzling sparks will stun the world. I look forward to the third possibility the most, because this situation is the most exciting. That is, the Celestial Court and you will be in a deadlock, both sides will suffer heavy losses. This way, I will be guarding by your side, I will have a great opportunity to reap the benefits. Maybe, I will be the final victor, and both of you will be my stepping stones. Fang Yuan looked at Bai Ningbing calmly, his expression was cold as he said plainly, if I kill you now, these 3 possibilities will be impossible. Yes, yes. Bai Ningbing frowned, her expression became somewhat dejected, her gaze flickered with uncertainty, her tone also became gloomy. It is like this. If I die in your hands now, although I will do my best to counterattack, the gap between me and you is too big, the excitement is simply not worth mentioning. However, if this is your choice, I will also accept it. She smiled and shrugged, because my strength is too weak, I have to accept it. This kind of cruelty is also very exciting, isn't it? Hee. Death was not scary to Bai Ningbing at all. She was a madwoman, but also had reason and calmness. Such a person was undoubtedly very scary. And the person who was even scarier than her was standing in front of her. That was the person who made Providence helpless and the Celestial Court helpless, the Devil Path giant Fang Yuan. The corner of Fang Yuan's mouth slightly curled up, he also laughed, very interesting. Bai Ningbing was a very interesting person. Now that Bai Ningbing was weak, she was at the mercy of Fang Yuan. Bai Ningbing's persuasion did not absolve herself at all. She even said the opposite, she might be a threat to Fang Yuan in the future. This was because she understood Fang Yuan. A person like Fang Yuan's mind was as clear as snow, he had already clearly analyzed the pros and cons of killing or not killing. And once Fang Yuan made up his mind, it did not matter what Bai Ningbing said, it was useless. Even without Bai Ningbing's words, Fang Yuan knew that in order to overcome the obstacles of the Celestial Court and find the true inheritance of Red Lotus, He had to cherish every bit of power. Bai Ningbing was obviously such a precious power. If she was given a chance, she would definitely betray Fang Yuan, but so what? A sharp blade, of course there was the danger of cutting oneself. But if he abandoned the blade and fought barehanded because of this, wouldn't that be stupid? How to use this blade well, not giving her the chance to betray, this was a test of Fang Yuan's ability. If I am not capable enough, and Bai Ningbing succeeds in betraying, I can only blame myself, right? Chapter 1656. Inside Rank 9 Killer Move Heaven Form. Fang Yuan's will flew like a dragon, spiraling in the sky before charging down fiercely. Rumble. Fang Yuan's will fell like a meteor, crashing into the sea of wills below. A large amount of wills were destroyed. However, this sea of wills was too vast and deep. Fang Yuan's attack only destroyed a small portion of it. Even though I snatched it and occupied the killer move's core, this place is filled with the wills of the 5 Xiongs and their descendants. Only after I get rid of these wills can I truly activate this rank 9 killer move. This sea of wills was truly huge. Even more troublesome was that these wills were affected by the rank 9 killer move. They were as firm as rocks. If Fang Yuan wanted to get rid of them, many of his methods were useless. Under the influence of the rank 9 killer move, Fang Yuan could not use any of his methods. Fang Yuan's thoughts changed as a brand new will surged in. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. The will condensed into swords, countless will swords rained down like a storm, landing on the sea of wills and creating countless holes. In a short while, this sea of wills was weakened by a layer. Compared to the results of the previous will flood dragon, this will sword rain was simply amazing. Fang Yuan saw this and sighed to himself, as expected of rank 8 immortal GU wisdom sword. He had rank 8 cultivation level now, he could activate this GU. Even though this GU was a sword path immortal GU, it was closely related to wisdom path. Fang Yuan used it as the core to deduce a simple immortal method that could unleash a large amount of sword will. The effect of using these sword wills to cleanse the sea of wills was the best that Fang Yuan had tried. But this way, Fang Yuan's investment had increased by many times. After all, Wisdom Sword Immortal GU was rank 8, activating it required White Lychee Immortal Essence. And Immortal Killer moves required even more Immortal Essence expenditure. But this expenditure was still acceptable to Fang Yuan after some deductions. After all, his logistics were very strong, his immortal aperture management was flourishing. During the battle to break out of the River of Time, although Fang Yuan managed to escape and thwart the Celestial Court's plan to kill him, he also suffered great losses. Especially the destruction of the incomplete immortal GU house, he still felt heartache over it. This incomplete immortal GU house was created after Fang Yuan captured many southern border GU immortals and obtained their immortal GU. He then went through many negotiations, transactions, and extortions with southern border's righteous path before finally obtaining the immortal GU and assembling it. Fang Yuan had put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this, but now it was all for naught. I hope this Heaven Form killer move can help me. Fang Yuan had high expectations for Heaven Form. If it were an ordinary killer move, Fang Yuan might be able to investigate it and deduce its power. But this killer move was rank 9, its level was too high, Fang Yuan could not understand it. This was the work of thieving Heaven Demon Venerable. He was proficient in Space Path and Theft Path. Even if this move was not used offensively, it would definitely have great effects. Even though thieving Heaven Demon Venerable did not say what this move's power was, Fang Yuan could deduce it from other aspects. For example, Shadow Sect's attitude. Shadow Sect's Inkstone purposely helped by Ningbing. His main motive was to obtain Heaven Form. Old Man Inkstone is also a Wisdom Path great expert. He must have deduced something. This Heaven Form killer move will definitely be of great help to Shadow Sect. Fang Yuan was the current leader of Shadow Sect. This Heaven Form killer move would naturally be of great help to him. Other than destroying the Sea of Wills in the killer move, Fang Yuan also started to unravel the 5 Xiong's seal. He controlled the immortal GU house on the mountain peak as well as this 5 Xiong's public grotto heaven. This grotto heaven only opened once every 1,000 years. It was quite rich in resources. Qi clan's GU immortals were busy escaping, they did not have time to loot them, these would all become Fang Yuan's cultivation resources. Boom! A huge explosion occurred, Bai Ningbing was blasted to pieces. But at the next moment, her Baixiong form gathered again, charging at Qi clan's GU immortals. Qi clan's GU immortals had ugly expressions, they experienced the terror of Baixiong. With this move, Bai Ningbing was almost unkillable. Of course, she was not fighting alone, Ying Wuxie and He Lulan were helping her from behind the scenes. Even though Fang Yuan ordered Bai Ningbing to chase after Qi clan's GU immortals, he knew her limits. Ignoring everything else, she did not even have the most crucial immortal battlefield killer move. Fang Yuan had already set up an immortal formation and set up an ambush. Ever since he captured Southern Border's righteous path, he had been very fond of this method. After Qi clan's GU immortals entered, they were immediately restrained by the immortal formation, they could not leave, they could only fight against Bai Ningbing. With a painful cry, the Qi clan GU immortal who had recently become an immortal was dealt a fatal blow by Bai Ningbing, he died on the spot. It is my turn. Ying Wuxie was already prepared, he immediately took action, capturing the Qi clan GU immortal's soul into the formation. The remaining Qi clan GU immortals roared in anger, they retaliated intensely. Bai Ningbing was smashed to pieces again, after a few breaths of time, she revived, becoming a complete Baixiong. Even though Qi clan had many GU immortals and had great battle strength, they showed expressions of despair now. Because they knew that Bai Ningbing could not kill them, she was trapped in the ambush, if this continued, they would die from exhaustion. What do we do? Bai Ningbing is too troublesome, and most importantly, Fang Yuan is too insidious, he actually buried this formation near our headquarters, Qi Grotto Heaven. Qi clan's GU immortals were very vigilant along the way, but when they returned to their headquarters, they were all captured. What they did not know was that Fang Yuan had already killed Qi Zai. Even though Qi Zai had not entered the Five Xiong's Grotto Heaven, he knew about Qi Grotto Heaven's situation. This Qi Grotto Heaven was Qi Xiong's immortal aperture, after it fell into White Heaven, it could not be teleported away, it had to stay at the same spot. Fang Yuan relied on this information to set up the immortal formation secretly, eventually tricking Qi clan's group. At this rate, we will lose for sure. Stall. I don't believe that her Baixiong killer move is so powerful, there will be no consequences or repercussions. Don't forget about Fang Yuan, if he comes here, this is not the immortal GU House's hall, the Five Xiong's seal will not be able to restrict him. We cannot break this immortal formation for now, we can only let Qi Pingsu come out and coordinate with us, that will be the fastest way to break this formation. That's not right. Qi Pingsu is the only person left in our headquarters, if he comes out, he will open the entrance, that will give Shadow Sect a chance. Who knows, Fang Yuan might be lurking at the side, waiting for the Grotto Heaven entrance to open so that he can break in. Fang Yuan did not come at all. But his terror and craftiness were deeply engraved in everyone's hearts. Qi clan's GU immortals were feeling great pressure now, they were panicking. At the same time, in a certain corner of Central Continent, a young man stood quietly, looking at the immortal GU in front of him. This young man had a mature and experienced expression, it showed that he had gone through many hardships in his life. It was none other than Guo Fangjing. Guo Fangjing was originally going to be executed by Crane Gate, but Fang Yuan left him alive and faked his death, allowing him to live in Lang Ya Blessed Land. Guo Fangjing lived in an environment filled with hairy men, he was ostracized, he had been through wars for a long time, he was in a precarious situation, there were times when he was on the brink of death. Because of all these factors, he was no longer the same as before, he had truly matured. Later on, Celestial Court invaded Lang Ya Blessed Land, because of his special identity, Guo Fangjing was saved by Feng Jioge. After saving Guo Fangjing, he returned to Central Continent. If I am not wrong, this is a Blood Path Immortal GU? Guo Fangjing looked at the GU Immortal in front of him as he showed a mocking smile. You want me to advance to Blood Path and become a Demonic Path GU Immortal to deal with Guo Fang Yuan? Is this the righteous path of your Crane Gate? Crane Gates Rank 6 GU Immortal Fan Shi Liu frowned slightly as he smiled. Any strength can be used righteously or maliciously. Don't you understand this? Just like how I cultivate Poison Path, I can bring blessings to the world. You cultivate Blood Path, you can do the same. Guo Fangjing shook his head. I cultivate Blood Path only because it is more beneficial to deal with Fang Yuan. After all, we are blood relatives. Even though Fang Yuan had the sovereign immortal body, his Time Path clone still had a bloodline connection with Guo Fangjing. Fan Shi Liu nodded. That is indeed the reason. But don't you want revenge? After all, he slaughtered all of Guo village's clansmen. Gu Fangjing let out a long sigh, his youthful face showing a desolate look of vicissitudes. So many years have passed, to speak the truth, even though I still hate him, I understand him now. I have thought about it. When I was young, I was very naive and ignorant. Fang Yuan took care of me a lot. On the other hand, my uncle and aunt were using me as a chess piece. Do you want me to take revenge for them? I am not willing to do so. Of course, the tribe leader and Guo Qing took care of me and nurtured me. I am willing to take revenge for them. But I am tired. Sigh, you kill me, I kill you, it is always like this. I don't want revenge anymore. Fan Shi Liu's expression did not change. It seems that you have been through a lot these years. Guo Fangjing looked at him, the mocking smile on his face intensified. The irony is, when I wanted revenge, my sect did not support me, they even wanted to get rid of me. When I did not want revenge, they saved me and supported me to take revenge. Saying this, Guo Fangjing looked at the Blood Path Immortal Gu with a dark gaze, and I know that I have no choice but to accept it. Fan Shi Liu sized up Guo Fangjing again. A strange light flashed in his eyes as he smiled lightly. Is it really okay for you to speak the truth like this? There is no such thing as okay or not. I know, with your methods, how can I hide my thoughts from you? Saying this, Guo Fangjing stretched out his hand and held that Blood Path Immortal Gu, asking, what is this Gu called? You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.